Everything gives me heartburn now, dude. It's like I can't get away from it. Everything's fucking heartburn city for me now. I can't. Yeah, I had to stop. I was doing those too. And then I always try to like, what's the highest milligram you can give me? I started doing like the on ones because the ons had like 8s.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And they were cheap as shit.
The Indian dude was like, he goes, I'm trying to get the 8s for Zin, but they don't have them yet. And
So
I'm
they don't make them yet. That's why.
I was like, dude, I'm like, I don't need that right now, bro.
I was going in and getting the ons because you could buy like 3 packs and it was like it come out to like $6 for 3 of them. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, 20 pouches in there. I'd be living like 3 at a time at 8 milligrams.
That's what started me with the pouches because I was at the office.
It's not good.
And someone got drunk and he had the on the bar, and the bartender's like, hey, is that yours? I'm like, no. She goes, it's brand new, you want it? I'm like, sure, I'll take it.
Well, Jim Bob always has them. He always has like some sort of Zin or whatever it is. He's got something, and then I was chewing and stuff, and then I was like, you know what, we're gonna try these things out. And then I was doing it hard because I'd just be like working from home, and then I think I did dry January, which is stupid. And then it's so dumb.
Stupid, bro?
I did it, and I did the whole thing, alcohol, and then I did I usually do like black pour over coffee every day, and I stopped. I did no coffee, and then I did no soda.
That's not healthy. The no coffee.
Sure, I mean it's fine. That's I didn't feel like leaps and bounds better the whole month, so. I definitely there was mornings where I woke up and was like, yeah, I probably won that morning. But, for the most part.
Bro, if I don't have my coffee in the morning, I have a headache all day.
For real?
Yeah. And I drink that espresso coffee. What is it?
You like that? Like that hard shit?
Yeah. I can't even think. It's cheap. But
what is it? Like,
espresso something. It's
is it cold or is it like...
No, it's a K-cup of coffee.
Oh, okay. Like Nespresso or whatever?
Yeah, it's
or
like espresso.
The Nespressos with the pods?
Yeah, but it's a coffee, though. I can't think. It's like a Puerto Rican or Dominican type coffee.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's cheap.
I don't know which one specifically you're talking about.
If you go to Jewel, Walmart, they sell a brick of coffee.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
It makes it legit.
Moving
it's
weight.
Like a kilo.
My guy's moving packs. Guys moving packs.
Yeah.
So I already started recording. So we got some of this. Some of this just came with us. We're just doing it. Whatever. Yeah. So let me introduce you to my friend Phil Juarez. So I was thinking about it because you and I have been talking for like a few weeks now, and then we moved it a couple times, and then we got it together today. But I was thinking to myself, like, all the people I've had on, I think this is like the 18th or 19th episode that'll go out on Monday. But I think you might be the one I've known the longest for my life, because I think I was in like 5th grade when I met you.
Yeah,
so what's that, 11? That's like 11 years old.
Were you 11?
You were like 16, I thought, at the time.
I was 17, turning 18.
I'm 41 now. Well, how old are you?
46.
Yeah. Yeah, so that would make sense. 11, 16. Yep. So let me just set the scene here. So 11-year-old Joseph Bobby and his big brother Jim, right? We had a friend named Ryan Moran, and he got us into this newfangled 90s trend of aggressive inline skating or rollerblading, whatever you want to call it. We were always rollerblading, playing hockey and stuff. Yeah, fruit booting. And we would go to the place where I went to my elementary school named Pershing in Joliet, and we would grind this fucking overly waxed curb, right? So we would skate there. We could skate there as kids at that age. I had my older brother, and there would be this weird Mexican dude by himself skating, long rat tail, just looking cool as shit, but also with a baby carrier. So I was like, well, that's concerning. Like, who is this guy? How old is he? I think he had tattoos. I think you were like, and you know how I grew up. You knew my mom and dad. Obviously, you met him over. You've got to know him very well over the years. And, we grew up white bread as fuck and like just total normal, like lower middle class white people. And then eventually we would see you so much we started to like forge a relationship based on skating, and then we'd have to go home and be like, so Mom, We're going to go. Hang on. His name's Phil. His name's Phil Juarez. Hear us out. He can drive. At least Jim was a little bit older, so it wasn't as crazy. But, I mean, then you and I ended up just becoming like best friends.
Yeah, that was strange.
If you look back on it now, it seemed normal at the time once we got past like the initial stages of like.
I honestly feel like only reason we became friends, though, because we had that passion to skate. Mm-hmm. And it was just like we wanted to learn more.
It's literally all we wanted to do.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, couple McDonald's cheeseburgers and
that's it.
Skate all day.
If I could scam $2 off my mom, which was not the easiest thing in the world to do sometimes. Do you remember going to like we went somewhere where my parents were at, like a fair or like something at the Park District, something, and you and I were going skating afterwards. I just remember, I don't know why I remember this specific thing so clearly, but you were like, hey, we're gonna go to like Subway or something before we go, and I'm like, oh, I gotta get some money from my parents, and my mom handed me like $3. I'm like, you can't get food at $3. I mean, I'm like in junior high at the time, probably, probably not even in high school yet. And I just remember you laughing at me. I'm like, what are you going to get with $3? Like, I can't be paying for you every time we go somewhere.
You get a bag of chips.
I was like, what the fuck,
man? Yeah. It is crazy.
Do you remember when you started skating? Like,
yeah.
Like, because when I met you, I mean, you already like seemed like you knew a little bit about what you were doing. And we were still kind of fresh trying to front side grind that wax curb.
Yeah. I remember it was 95 X Games. I've seen it on TV. And then my cousin Mikey, he was rollerblading.
I forgot about Mikey.
Yeah, he was rollerblading. And I seen him with rollerblades. I'm like, dude, that's gay. And then I saw the X Games. I was like, oh, that's pretty dope.
Wait a minute, that's actually pretty cool.
And I was like, I need to get a job just to buy some skates. And the messy thing is I got the job.
Wait, where was it at?
I got a job at Bill Jacobs.
Oh yeah, like a porter or something, or like parts department.
Parts department, at like mid shift or something, and I worked like 2 or 3 months and saved up, and then I quit after I got the skates.
K2s or something.
No, I got the
or were they rollerblade?
The rollerblades.
TRS,
the Tarmacs.
Oh yeah, Tarmac. That's
because they had the steel.
They had that
crappy
real shit.
Yeah,
they had the real shit on them.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so crazy. Well, the crazy thing is when we met you, you literally you had a baby already, which was insane already because we didn't. I don't even know if we knew how old you were right off the bat. We were like, he's got to be at least like 15, 16 years old. But he's got a baby carrier with
he's
him.
Mexican, so he has kids.
It's automatic. It's like I don't even think I was like that. I don't even think I had developed that kind of racism yet. I was still working on it, Like I was just
Jim had it.
That stereotype. I didn't even have that in my repertoire. I was just kind of like, holy shit, this guy's not that old and he's got a baby and the baby's there with him while he's doing Unity grinds.
I think it was like once or twice I did that.
Yeah, no, I know. It wasn't like every day.
Because
then we found out you lived like right over by Jarek's, the baby mama. Remember going to see Tracy or dropping off. I remember the first time I had chorizo was at your house. You're like, chorizo and eggs. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. It was like toast, chorizo, and eggs. You were like, it's sausage. It's kind of spicy, but it's not that spicy. You'll be fine.
Yeah. It was crazy, though. Like, before I even met you guys, I used to see you guys rollerblading up and down Larkin. You with Ryan Moran, and was it Joe?
Oh, yeah. Martinez.
Yeah.
Yep. God, Joe was a good hockey player. He was a fucking stud, but he could rollerblade. His dad built him a fucking mini ramp and a quarter pipe in his backyard. So I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, that was, and driving by Persian, seeing everyone skate, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go skate over there. And then I think our skating friendship happened that way. I mean,
it was crazy.
It was crazy.
And then it just developed into like, this dude is driving us to New Lenox so we could go to Drop In, hang out with Al and the boys. I mean, the giant, what was that, 13-foot bowl or some shit?
Yeah,
it was a big-ass bowl. That thing used to scare me to death.
Yeah, I miss those days because I was thin.
We were all thin. That's all we did. Must have burned like 9,000 calories a day skating all over Joliet. Oh, yeah. It's like, that's all we did all day long, every day of the week. As soon as school got out for me, I was just looking to go do some skating.
I was just hoping someone could watch Nikki and so I could go skate. It was awesome though because when I lived with her grandmother lived with her, so it was she didn't mind watching Nikki.
How's Tracy doing these days? What's she up to?
She lives in Texas.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
What part?
Austin.
Austin?
Yeah. Round Rock area.
Okay.
But yeah, with all her kids and stuff like that. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Texas, huh? Yeah. Shout out real quick, my cousin Nikki Bobby. She just opened in this week. She's doing her first friends and family. She opened a wine bar. So she's a nurse practitioner out there. She's living a good life. She decided to fucking throw some stress at herself and open up a business. So she's opening up a little wine spot out there this week. It's called the Feral Housewife. So if you're on Texas, go check it out. Go buy some wine up in there. Anyway, sorry. So I had to throw that in there. It just hit me.
Throwing commercials out there. I was like, no, you're throwing commercials.
I mean, it's for a loved one. It's for a loved one.
It's good.
It's Nikki Bobby. I mean,
she's gonna make some money out there because that's where Texas does all that stuff.
I hope so. I love Austin. I tear up Austin anytime I can get out there. Love it. But I mean, she's been out there for like 20 years. She went to college out there, got her master's, did all that. So her and her husband are going on a new venture here. It's gonna be wild for them. So anyways, let's get back to it. I knew you once you had a kid and you were playing like so what was that like leading up to it? I mean, I clearly waited till I was like 26 to have a baby. And, you know.
Well, I decided to make some wrong choices.
Wrong? Was it wrong though?
Well, I mean,
Nikki, if you listen to this, don't take what he's saying.
She wasn't a wrong choice. It was a good choice. But
as we just got off the phone with her, and she's dealing with her own kid having appendicitis. My, how the tables have turned.
But no, I mean, before the whole skating thing, I was running with the like knuckleheads, being a troubled teen.
Where did you grow up? Like, what part of I mean, I know not everybody's gonna know Joliet
Joliet, Rockdale. But mostly Rockdale.
Because your cousin lived like right on that main street in Rockdale, right?
Yeah, they live right there on Meadow. Yeah. But I mean, I lived everywhere in Rockdale. I lived on all the main streets that everyone talks about. Mm-hmm. I was there. My mom moved around, so basically I lived in Joliet for the longest time. Mm-hmm. That's when I met more skaters when I was younger, but that's when I was skateboarding. And so I was a skateboarder growing up. And then became a crazy kid.
What does that mean? Became a crazy kid.
Well, a knucklehead and running with the gangs.
Was it like
I
knew I remember like the whole Broadway 2-6 thing, and like you kind of explained some of that stuff, but we never really like dove into that. Obviously, we were too busy skating. We weren't worrying about it. There were definitely times we were in your car where you're like, you should probably duck because old boy down here.
Yeah, I mean, I ran with the 2-6, and it wasn't a proud moment. At that time, it was.
How old? Like, what age range was that?
It was from like
remember?
Probably 14 to 17.
14. Was it like cousins, like friends, like just where you were living?
It started. It was where I was living, and then also family was part of it.
Okay.
And come to find out, I hate to sound racist or anything, but Mexicans, if you are a relative, even though you're not a relative, like you're married,
you're related no matter what.
If you're like you had the same last name of another cousin.
You're like Martinez, Juarez. That's all.
You're like, oh, we're family because so and so, your aunt was a girlfriend to my uncle.
Didn't matter if it was real or not.
Yeah, it wasn't real. I learned the hard way. To come to find out after a couple of family reunions, I'm like, oh, this dude has never been he's not no bloodline.
He just hung around a lot.
But I also realized, I mean, I treated him like a cousin because it was a family situation. Yeah. So I don't want to say I always say I was born into it because just being around everybody that's part of it.
Yeah.
Growing up,
just become product of your environment.
Yeah, and it happened, and I got in a lot of trouble, and I got to a point in my teenage years of mind of thinking I'm not going to be alive at 18, or I might be in prison. So one thing ended to another was I had a kid.
So I'm curious because like I was just a fucking idiot at that age range. So to think that you had like an epiphany for yourself to be like, oh, if I don't stop doing this, it's going to be a problem. Like, is that what happened? Like, did it hit you one day? Like, if I keep on this like this road, like, do you remember any like the shit you did? Like, what's like some of the shit that you were getting involved in? It's like you weren't killing anybody, but you were. I mean, you were around some people maybe that were a little.
Yeah, they were causing a lot of issues. But then again, at that time in my mind, my state of mind, learning now that I'm older now and talking about it, I had an issue with my own like mental health. So,
but that wasn't a thing back then.
No,
at least you didn't say that.
No, you couldn't, because you had to sit at home and cry and be like, okay, man up and go outside and keep on doing what you're doing, because no one's gonna come for you. Yeah. No one's gonna help you if they're not gonna.
Like you weren't allowed to be soft,
right?
Like, or at least what is perceived as soft.
Yeah,
like, we didn't know.
Yeah,
fucking 90, 91. Like
early 90s was that. We were just actually talking about it today at work. I was talking to one of the guys at work. He goes, we were like, yeah, the 90s was the worst, but coolest like deck, you know.
But it was so bad.
It was bad
at the same time.
It was cool because you it was just crazy, and
you had like wild anxiety and stuff, but you didn't know why, and you didn't know how. Like there was nowhere to deal with it. There was nowhere to like, no way to express it. No like path to go down.
And you know, mess with the thing, I was having anxiety attacks. My parents didn't even know what they were. Like they were just thinking I was just didn't want to go to school, or you got issues. I'm like, well, yeah, I do. And I'm like, and then the doctors would be like, oh, he just wants the attention.
They give you like Adderall. No, not Adderall. It was Ritalin back then.
They didn't want to give me no medicine either. Like, oh, he's just trying to get your attention. Maybe you need to stay home more. Like, I'm like, my mom's working 2-3 jobs, and my dad was working and doing his thing, but my stepdad, she was married to at first, he was like always there. And then he basically told me, like, man, I know what's wrong with you. He goes, you need to stop being dumb. But then I was like,
what do you mean? Like, what did he mean by that?
Oh, because
the way you said it made it sound like it made sense.
It did, but at that time I didn't really. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna die in the streets. That's where I'm supposed to do. You know, I guess, you know, because at that time, like I said, early '90s was the hot thing of being a gang member or being that wannabe gangster. You know, and he knew what I was doing, because he would go to the bar or something and they're like, hey, your stepson's doing this with these guys. And
so they're
you know, even my dad.
Why is he running with this guy?
Yeah,
like, why is he
even my dad. Oh, my dad used to hear it all the time, because he would be in the bars in Rockdale and he'd be like, oh, he's one of those two shits. My dad's like, no, he's not. And at that time, I covered up my tattoos, my gang tattoos. Like I always wore long sleeve shirts, and they had no idea what I was doing the whole time.
No shit. So your dad never even really caught on during the time.
At that time, I didn't have nothing on my face.
Yeah.
And it was only my arms, my legs, and I remember my mom, when she found out, I think I got in a fight at school or something, and the cop told my mom, he's like, you know, he's a known gang member, right? And she's like, what are you talking about? He's like,
not our
she's
boy.
Like, he's quiet, he skateboards. And he goes, are you sure he still skateboards? Like, this cop knew me because
the cop was like, when's the last time you seen him hit a kickflip?
and she, I don't know if she didn't want
was it denial, or was
I think it was denial. Like she's like
just didn't know, like just didn't notice.
And I played it up so well too. Like I still remember some conversations. I used to say, "Oh, if you're part of a gang, you're a pussy." You know?
You go hard the other way.
I made myself look like straight up.
Those guys are whack.
Yeah. And I was living with her at some house, and we, like I said, I got suspended. And I'm like, you know what? She was like telling me I'm not gonna amount to nothing. You know, being a parent, just being mad. And
that was
saying,
90s parenting,
yeah,
right there.
It was the the word vomiting. Yeah, the word vomiting of being mad and not knowing how to nurture a kid. Yeah. And I go, you know what? You're fucking right. And you know, I ripped I took my long sleeve shirt off, and I'm like, see, this is what you did to me. You know, and
always blame the parents.
Bro, she's like, you're out of my house. You're out of my house. I'm like, all right, bet. Yeah. I'm out. And I left.
Yeah, what'd you do? Like, where'd you go? Like, who you just crashing?
I was crashing at people's houses and just like my cousins' houses.
Doing gang shit?
Yeah.
All the Juarez houses.
There weren't Juarez. There were Riveras.
Getting the fat caps out.
Yeah, bro. I was just
taking hot needles, sticking it through the Krylon tip, trying to widen that sucker out.
Bro, from between Marion and Moran Street, was my zone of tag and gang graffiti.
Oh yeah,
that was your shit? I made the newspaper.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was cool. Blue and black spray paint.
Like, sick.
It was bad. It was dope as hell, and it was funny because I even did it on my ex-wife's parents' backyard fence.
That's wild. Oh yeah,
before I even
by the
knew
dentist
her.
office, like back in the day, like that's where I used to go. Where her parents lived over
Dwight,
there, right?
on Dwight Street.
Yeah.
Like all
like Dairy Queen and all that.
That whole subdivision was my just.
Dr. Kane's office was right there. Dr. Kane's office right on the corner over there. Yep.
Yeah, but I hit the papers on that, and the cops came to my mom's house, my stepdad's house, looking for me because they knew who did it, but they couldn't have.
Why'd they know? Just, he looks like an artistic little pussy.
My nickname and just the gang.
What was it?
Yeah.
What was your nickname? Did you say? You're not gonna
Fluffy
say?
Bunny.
Was it really? You're just not gonna say. All right, that's fine. Hey, you gotta keep some secrets. That's fine.
But yeah, I mean, so yeah, with the whole gang stuff, it was. Like I say now, it might have been in my own way of doing things, like a cry for help, but it wasn't never seen.
Yeah.
So they always said I was gonna grow out of it. I grew out of it, kind of.
Do you think it was common? Like, do you think that there was like, do you have guys that were your age that you remember? They're like, oh yeah, they grew out of it too. Or
some
like,
have, yeah.
Or you some of them are
still,
either dead or in jail or
yeah,
just not.
I got real family members.
Good.
I got real family members right now, like doing multiple life sentences for things.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
it's funny as shit because it's like, why couldn't you grow up? Like, why couldn't you don't see your kids growing up correctly? And I was that like I said, Nikki was good because got to a point was like,
and Nikki's his oldest, the baby I used to see in the carrier every now and again. But yes, that's his oldest daughter. Just in case we get lost down the timeline here.
Yeah. So I mean, that as I said, she was a good thing because it made a point to me there's a reason to keep going, keep moving. So it took me a while to actually start working and doing things correctly. I mean, shit, being 16, having a kid, the mentality, you're still a kid.
Do you remember like how you were surviving during like the first couple of years of her life? Like where was money coming from? Like who's taking care of?
I mean, her mom.
When I used to look at you guys, I looked at you guys almost like adults. But then now I'm thinking back, I'm like 16. Like Addison's 13. Like she's gonna be 16 before I know it, and there's no way I could ever trust her to do anything. Like be really like
like I said, I took jobs that didn't even help, but it was helping get money, and that was it. And then her mom, I praise her mom. I mean, like that woman, she went to high school, graduated, went to college, had a job, full-time job the whole damn time.
Did the whole thing.
I might have been the, how you want to say, the baby daddy that didn't have a job, but I still had money. I don't know how I did it. I don't
remember selling drugs or anything, but I had money somehow.
Yeah, that was when I was before she was born. I was doing that too randomly, and it's all glorified unless you're really deep into it.
Like you go,
yeah. I mean, we know guys that did time and did some crazy stuff, and I was never their top level. Like that.
No.
I was just the dime bag guy.
Think my boys are out. I think they're out. I think they're doing okay.
They're doing good.
I think they're figured it out.
Mm-hmm. They know how to do business.
But they know how to do some business.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's how we always had money. I don't know. Like I said, when I saw the skating going back, I'm ADHD. I'll bounce everywhere, just let you know.
That's all right. Yeah. I'm not going to help you at all. So I'll be taking you down roads. We don't even know where we
Yeah. So I mean, like
there.
I said, I saw this rollerblading, and I still wanted a thrill. And it sucks to say that gang banging gave you a thrill because, like, oh man, I'm gonna go outside today. Am I going to get shot?
Who knows what's going to happen?
Am I going to get
Didn't you used to tell me a story about like one of your friends or cousins got like shot in the ass, or like you were there when somebody else got shot in the ass or something?
Yeah. One of my closest friends shot someone in the ass with I want to say
22
a 22 revolver where you had to hold the chamber in. and your hand will get so much gun residue all over your hands. The gang I was running with, we were poor. Yeah. We were just, but like I said, knuckleheads. We all, like the friend that did that, he lives in Florida, works construction,
That's
married,
a real
has
wild
a house
place to live.
But he's doing good, and I'm like, damn, like at least something good came out of it.
He learned some shit, I guess. Learned some work ethic or something out of it.
We learned how to use guns that were broken.
That's hilarious.
I watched someone get smacked in the face with a 10-gauge shotgun because they didn't know they were supposed to hold on it and watch it.
It's like, whop.
Yeah, I was like, whop. That ain't supposed to happen.
That's not supposed to be how that works.
They're like, how'd you get that? Oh, I was trying to shoot at somebody and got a black eye.
Yeah, just pop. Yeah, those things work a little different. Yeah. You got to be ready for that.
But
what was it? Was it you? I mean, I remember you specifically talking about Broadway 26, but then was there like some form of Latin King or something in that area too? Like, was that like the
there's Latin Kings
other
everywhere.
side, right?
Yeah, it's well, Joliet. They used to have hoods. I don't think they have hoods anymore, but
yeah, it's not like a set anymore. Like,
no,
like territories.
I think the gangs now are not very structured.
It's a little different. You can find them on YouTube now. They're making rap videos.
Oh yeah,
like
they're
never
doing
seen
everything
before.
now.
Thumper City, dude. Thumper City. Shout out to whoever made that fucking video, because I can watch that shit on YouTube over and over again. I bet I went to high school with a bunch of dudes that are in that video, but
and that's what
love that.
I watch some of those videos on YouTube, and I'm like, you're gonna die soon. You
Thumper
know that,
City,
you're pushing your face out there. I mean,
oof.
Maybe that's why some of us older ones that grew up, and it's not like we're alive still, because we didn't have phones to record all our.
Oh no shit!
Our
you guys would have been
antics.
fucked.
Yeah, man.
It's a different world now, though, man, because it's like they're a little more liberal with, and they got fucking banana clip Glocks and shit on them at all times. Like, they ain't messing around.
Yeah, they got the good arsenal. I don't know how they're getting it.
It's out there now.
Because, like I said, we were broke.
Moving packs, I guess. I assume.
I mean,
moving weight.
Man, I was excited when. I can't even say I was excited. I was living that life thinking I was somebody I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was listening to too much Tupac.
Well, you got me started on Tupac, and I still to this day will fight anybody who says he isn't the best.
I raised all my kids on Tupac.
Yeah, you got me hard. It's like to the point where I almost didn't even want to listen to Biggie. I was like, I get it. He's pretty good, but
I don't want to call out somebody, but remember, someone close to you said that he's too ghetto.
I can't tell you who, but I can't pick it off the top of my head, but I'm sure,
he might be a blood relative to you.
Oh, okay. That sounds right. At first I thought you were going to say something about Joe Cabrera.
No.
Shout out to Joe Cabrera. Yeah. I love Joe. Was hard, dude.
Joe was a real OG of himself.
I love Joe.
Yeah.
Joe's great.
I haven't talked to him.
Joe had some wild shit happen to him in his life, man, with his dad, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the Lumpy Pickle or something? Like,
yeah. No, he got
stabbed, right?
Yeah, it was on Broadway. It was one of those weird bars. But yeah,
Joe was legit, man. I love that guy. He was great.
Oh man,
I used to love kicking it down in the basement with his highlighter, his alcohol bottles filled with highlighters, them lamps going, some Kid Frost playing.
I got him hooked on Kid Frost.
Dude, he got me on Artifacts. Artifacts was what he got me going on.
Yeah, hard. Him and Ryan Hellis.
Me and him in the basement playing Cool Borders all night. Cool Borders. Remember that shit? I love Joe. Joe been one of the Marines?
He went to the Marine Corps.
He's a Marine, right?
He was a Chicago cop for a while. Yeah. Had an incident, but he's doing good. I talked to him, I want to say a couple of months ago. I want to say last November. But he's doing good. He's doing construction now too, though.
Ryan was out. He's a police officer, wasn't he? Or is he? No? Hellis?
Ryan?
No?
I don't know.
No, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of Carlos. Remember Carlos? He used to live down the street from my parents. Sanchez.
Oh, yeah.
Like redhead dude.
Yeah.
I think he was like a Las Vegas cop or something for a little bit. Jim had run into him. I ran into him at Old Charlie's.
I was actually thinking about Ryan Moran. I'm like, I wonder if he's still painting houses.
I haven't seen Ryan Moran. I was thinking about him the other day too. And I was like, man, I don't even know. I haven't even seen like a scent of him since we were in our like.
I was going to text you. I'm like, I can't come over today because my mom wants me to paint the room.
That kid, he had the weirdest lockdowns in his house.
He's like, I can't come out and skate today.
Gotta credit him for getting me into the sport itself, though.
He goes, I'm like, why can't you come out? He's like, oh, I gotta paint the garage.
I'm like, what? His dad would have him doing some wild shit. Oh, just constant.
Yeah.
Teach him discipline. He's probably like a financier or something now. He probably makes $1 billion. You know, he got that work ethic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I remember distinctly. You know, when you talk about, I did this in with gangs or whatever, Broadway 2-6. I do remember you saying a term that I had never heard. Like, they don't do the after school special on that. When you're like, oh, like dropping your flags was like a thing. You know? I bet they don't. That's probably not even a thing anymore.
Yeah, no, you just become random person again. I don't know.
You're just dead.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? It was funny. I want to say a few years ago. I want to say about 10 years ago. It had been right before I got married. I ran into one of my buddies that I grew up, went to school with, and he was a GD, and he's a truck driver now. And when I got kicked out of both schools, Joliet Central and West, someone told him that someone killed me on some street or something, and it messed him up for a good while, I guess. And I ran into him in the mall, and he's like looking at me, and he started screaming my name, and like this guy, but he's not a small man. He's a big black dude. I mean, he probably like close to 6 foot,
like a black James Biernack.
Yeah, just he manhandled me when he picked me up and swung me around like I was a rag doll. And his wife was laughing, and he was crying. And he's like, bro,
he goes,
they said he was like, they said you got killed. I'm like, who? He's like, so. I'm like, I started laughing. I'm like, bro, those are vice lords, bro. I'm like, and I got kicked out of school. He's like, bro, I'd never seen you after that. I'm like, well, yeah, I was out of school. I'm like, the only time I saw you was in school. Yeah. But we went to Dirksen together, and we went to Central, and then so when I got kicked out of Central is when all the rumors
at the mall.
The rumors, yeah. We were in our 20s because I had Aiden. Aiden was 5 or 6. And Aiden was like, what the hell is going on?
Oh my God. I bet he was so like, what do you do? Plus he grew up in a whole different environment than you did. So it's like he had no like perspective to shoot at that visual.
But yeah, to see a big black dude picking up your dad like a little rag doll.
Just randomly at the mall.
Yeah, randomly. I heard him call my name. I turned around
right
when
in front of the Journeys.
It was Spencer's.
It was Spencer's. You got to pick up your novelty gifts.
Yeah, my adult novelty gifts.
Adult novelty. So you threw that in there, huh? Okay. I see what you did there. Let's fast forward back, right? We'll ADHD this thing all the way through.
Yeah. That's gonna be horrible.
So we got through that part, right? We got through the gang. We don't roll with gangs. I roll with 10 gangs.
Yeah, don't gangbang. It's not worth it.
Don't gangbang. That's your message. All right.
Yeah. Stay in school.
So then, I mean, literally, like, as many days a week as we possibly could. Cold months, we were on ramps indoors at drop-in. There wasn't like nowadays when like every fucking town has like an outdoor skate park, concrete, whatever, or wood playing field. All these places have multiple skate parks where you can go to. This was like you had to get a membership, you had to drive 20, 30 minutes. We had to figure out a way to pay for gas every day to get out there, and they had to deal with some of the wild, like El's dad was like the wildest.
Oh yeah, Mike.
Old school.
Yeah.
He just passed recently or something, right? Fucking
I heard
crazy.
that too.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I saw it on Facebook or something.
I was talking to somebody. Oh, sorry, an older skateboarder that remembered us. I know he's older because I know I'm old, and he was.
He was older than you.
He was 20 something when we were going to drop in, and he said, Al still lives at that drop-in skate park. Like, there's not a skate park no more. But
right, but he still lives in that building, huh?
Yeah, they live in that building.
That's crazy. That's awesome. I mean, that place was home, man. That place was
who I was talking
home. I mean, Joseph got his first skateboard when he was like 8 and Thomas did everything for him. Thomas got his trucks and all that. He got the whole thing set up for him. I was like, damn, this is kind of cool. And I saw Tim Rowe, same thing. Tim had his son over there, and Thomas
I took
hooked it up.
Aiden got his first skateboard through Thomas, And then when my daughter came out with my grandson, I bought his first skateboard at Through Thomas.
I mean, I hope they recognize that, like, because that's kind of a cool thing in Joliet that people probably don't even think about, like that they've been in business that long. I mean, from the place by Tracy's house, to
Persian. It's still there.
The spot over the fucking eye boutique in the bowling alley is on Jefferson.
Oh yeah,
That's when Richie Cutsy used to work up in there.
Oh, Cutsy!
Shout out Richie. Richie's still out there skating too.
Yeah,
probably killing it at life.
Yeah,
love that guy. Yeah, I mean that was literally our everyday. I mean,
it was
for years. Churches,
church,
dealing with notches on rails. I remember splitting my butthole open and screaming in agony. I think my asshole's bleeding.
I mean, yeah. When you guys fell, you guys were screaming.
Yeah, you were too cool. You were like, so.
I think I didn't want to scream because I think hearing you guys scream, I didn't want to sound the same.
You knew what it sounded like.
I'd rather whimper than scream.
Well, you are. So I'll say, and nobody gives a shit about rollerblading or anything. Rollerblading is basically dead. I mean, like I know it's still out there, but I mean, it's not
dead. It's coming back.
I know, but it's not like you're gonna see skateboarding on TV before you see that, or anything like mainstream wise. Like you're not gonna see it anymore. Like my kid had no idea that it even existed.
You had all the footage.
Yeah,
you had all the footage.
I know. I don't know. I think it's just one of those days where my mom and dad were like, "This closet's got to get cleaned out. Like, do you need this?" And I was like, "I don't fucking know." And it just got thrown out. And they were on like the Super 8s or like the 8, whatever.
I have one. I have the one still. I have one. I mean, I'll look it up. I'll look for it. I think it's in my storage unit. I'll give it to you if you could some way get it.
God. I'm sure I could figure it out. I can find like an adapter video or something to get it on VHS.
It's like I don't know. I don't even know if it's a 8mm or not.
Yeah, it's probably. I would imagine.
I remember having it, and then I had the VHS thing you drop it into.
Oh yeah, like the big tape adapter thing. Oh yeah, those are cool. Like
I'll look at my storage unit this weekend because I got to move that around.
Like I said, nobody. But we had. There were like pivotal moments at age 41 I still think about sometimes where like they're like that rail or like that day we spent there for hours. But you always had like, remember we used to fuck with Jim Bob all the time and be like, Jim Bob he'd be able to do shit, but he was like stiff.
He had a hockey. I forgot
uptight.
the pictures. I forgot the pictures. They're on my desk.
He just like wasn't loose. And you were like the complete opposite. You were so smooth. Like you had like that swag to you.
I had that John Julio.
Yeah, just like swag.
I had that John Julio man crush.
No,
bro crush or whatever,
John Julio.
That's the only reason why I learned how to do the fish brains because John Julio.
How about it?
No, everyone's like, who the hell is these guys talking about?
Absolutely. Josh Petty, John Julio. Like,
sorry, it's no Tony Hawk.
The USD brand guys, all that. Yeah.
Latimer.
Oh my God. I mean, I can't even remember half of their names. Is it like watching Some Free Advice for the first time and like just mind just fucking blown.
Night of the Rope or String of the Rope or Skate of the Rope.
The Hoax movie.
Oh, the Hoax
1, 2, 3.
See, you guys got me hooked on the Hoax.
Hoax 3 was like one of the great. I watched that thing more than I've watched like Gladiator.
Was it Moose Knuckle they had?
I don't even remember. I bet they were just. I just remember
some of the names.
Loving those movies. Oh yeah, stuff that I wouldn't even think about. Wouldn't even have thought about at the time. I was like, that's just skate
a Moose
stuff.
Knuckle. Come on.
So when I started doing the beer podcast in like 2018, there was this dude that was like homebrewing and stuff, and he was making these like sour beers, and he'd bring them, and they would be like cool, like, oh, this is like blue Gatorade, but it was like a kind of a sour tilted alcohol beverage. And then he eventually it was called Viking Artisan Ales, and then he eventually went on to open up his own little place in Indiana. So I did the show with him, and I became like, became friends enough with him, and we did the show, and we're sitting there talking, like you and I are right now. And somehow the rollerblading thing comes up, and he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "I was in magazines and stuff." He's showing me these great pictures of him, like layouts with like him doing topside acids down these big rails. I'm like, "No shit!" Like, and he's probably 4 or 5 years younger than me, and he was like, "I was doing it up until not too long ago, like a couple of years back. He was out there, still doing it." Remember days like just going to St. Francis and trying to do a topside Mizu down.
I gotta give you. I had all the pictures. It's you and your brother. Like most of my pictures, besides me, they're
There was a photo album at my mom's that I found that had like the back of it had like it was like My Baby album, and then the back of it was like a series of me and you and maybe just me and you, or maybe me, you, and Jim at JCA working that 2-stair.
Yeah, the three. It was a 3-stair.
Yeah, something like that.
And you you grind into the wall.
Yeah, right in the front of the building. There's like a pillar and then the wall on the one side, depending on if.
I have a lot of pictures of those because that's when I had the Cadillac.
Oh yeah, that's
that
right.
leaked oil.
That's
everywhere.
right. I remember driving. Remember driving Karina's that like Round Effects like Cavalier, because Tracy had a Cavalier. Man, I remember too, right?
Why did it go?
Didn't Tracy have a Cavalier?
Yeah.
It was like a teal color one, right?
I hope they don't watch this shit.
Why? That was part of our lives at the time, driving that Cavalier.
Cavaliers, yeah.
Her Cavalier was cool. Karina had that. She had the ground effects. She had the ground effects, like blue.
You remember when you were with me when I spun into the mall parking lot because she was working at the mall and I smacked her car?
I don't even.
And I backed up and I reversed. I'm like,
maybe.
Well, I'm not gonna park here, and I parked somewhere.
maybe not. I don't know.
I think it was you.
Look,
I think
dude,
it was you.
I'm not getting caught up in that. All right.
No, don't worry. I don't want to talk to her, so it's all good.
It's funny. I remember like all the different cars you drove throughout that time because I needed rides places.
Had my dad's Grand Am.
Yeah. Yep. God, your dad was awesome. Your dad just looked cool.
Yeah, bro, I don't want to take my hat off. I don't want to take my hat off.
Why?
I'm looking at my father.
Yeah, but he had the hair though.
Oh,
he
I got the hair.
Back, but the back. He had the
yeah,
flow.
He still does.
I mean, you said your dad, was in bars and stuff. Like, was your dad like he was just drinking all the time?
Drinking all the time. I mean, both my parents had kids too young, and because look my mom's 69. I'm 47. Going to be 47. Mm-hmm. Come on, it's same thing. Like but they might have been a little older, but it's crazy. But yeah, my dad, he's a good man now. He tries.
now.
Well, yeah, he can't drink no more. So.
Great granddad. Yeah. What do you give medical shit? Get fucked up?
Yeah, he has what's that called? The alcohol shit.
Like cirrhosis.
The cirrhosis of the liver. Yeah. I was about to say appendicitis. That's my grand.
That's a different thing. We just covered that. Yeah, we just covered.
I was about to say it like appendicitis.
Bonus beer.
Sweet.
I got another bonus beer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like you and I were close for years and years, and then like as I went into like high school, well, even after like middle of high school, and then into college and stuff, like you and Jim became closer than my brother Jim. And then you guys lived your adult life, as close friends.
No, you found girls.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, I had you to be inspired by. You constantly had a woman, right? Constantly.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, it happens. I mean, shit. You were doing your school thing, which is good. Sucked for me because I quit skating.
I know.
We all. I think we all quit. Out.
You kept up with it though.
I kept with it for a while. I tried to get back into it when we moved back to Texas. We moved to Texas and I tried skating, and I found out drinking and skating does not mix.
You had to find that out? You didn't just assume that, huh?
Oh, I didn't assume that at all. Because when you're drinking, you think I could still do this stuff, and I think at my profile picture,
probably do it better.
I think at my profile picture on Facebook, it had my ass cheek that was. I didn't bruise; it was just bright red, and it was bruised. Like I couldn't sit on my right cheek for a while. But yeah,
just got ambitious.
I ate it.
Just got ambitious.
I just did like a 180 on a curb and slipped.
It was like something dumb.
Something dumb.
It was like doing some cute little spin move.
I remember Katie's like, "Are you serious? Like, what are you doing?"
I'm a grown ass man.
Leave me alone, woman. Give me my Coors Light.
Yeah. Give me a bear. Well, that's a hilarious like intersection too, right? I mean, like Katie was like one of my first girlfriends as like a sixth grader.
Okay, I'm gonna bring this up.
Sixth grader.
I'm gonna bring this up.
What you got?
When you got married.
I got married.
We were at your wedding reception. We're outside.
Yep.
You were very intoxicated.
Okay, I like that.
Your wife shows up outside. We're out there smoking.
Oh, the cigars. We had the
Yeah,
cigars.
you had cigars. Me and Katie were probably smoking cigarettes.
I was probably smoking those too, but
and you're like, you were very vocal on whose boob you touched.
Yeah, probably right. That's probably right. Yeah.
And you pointed at Katie.
That one right there. It's probably my first boob.
I'm like,
I bet it was my first boob.
You said it.
Pretty sure it was.
You said it was.
Shouts out.
Shout out to Katie for
Sakowitz family. Remember her brother used to like chase us around like it was a chainsaw basically. He was like, it was like going over to hang out with her. It was like going to see like because Allison was Uncle Jim liked Allison back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Back in the day. So we'd have to run away from Katie's brother. Was it Michael? Right? Mike.
Yeah, Mike Sakowitz. Yeah, so yeah, that's so,
yeah, that makes sense.
I tell people
drunk at my wedding.
I tell people that story all the time. They're like,
God.
"That's weird. Like, how are you gonna be friends?"
Not to mention
he was young. He was little.
Not to mention, I was in 6th grade. She was in 7th grade, and she was like
older
5'10", and I was like 5.
4'11".
Yeah, I was like 5 foot tall, and she's like 5'8", and I'm just like, I got a tall girl.
So was it like you hit her range?
I did get her in front of the DJ booth, sitting down, changing her skates at Skate West. That was the only shot I had back in the day. So fast forward years later, Phil ends up marrying our dear friend Katie.
Because your brother invited her to a house party.
It's Jim's fault. Was he trying to get Allison over there?
I think so. It might have been. It might have been.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
He's always having plans. It just I don't think they work completely for him.
Yeah, I mean, he used to have more game, but maybe not that much. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. I think he was too ghetto at one time.
Is that what you think?
Sorry, Jim. Love you.
And then he met Beernack.
Yeah, man. That you being your guys' friend, like after all that, like the whole party thing. I was going to parties with you guys, and I was like, he's the oldest one.
Well, yeah, that sucked for you.
Maybe, it was funny though. I mean, because like I missed out on that. Like I said, I ran with the gang crap and didn't get to enjoy.
Yeah,
like 13, 14, 15, 16, like just doing
like the real basic high school shit.
Like boys, I want to say boy stuff. Like I used to yell at 80 when he was little. I'm like, go outside, go break a window.
Yeah.
Go get in trouble. Like let me say like, all right, boys will be boys. It happened. But yeah, I was like, so I was enjoying myself. That's
Well, and like the other dynamic to that whole thing was I always had Jim at 3 years older than me, so I was constantly surrounded by people who were older than me anyway, and you were older than Jim, Like, so for me, like I was just like I was hanging out with senior girls when I was a freshman, not like I was dating them or anything, but it was like I was accepted to be at places where I probably shouldn't have been.
Well, yeah, you were Joe, like.
Yeah, I was super lucky. Jim had an awesome group of friends between like Mejia and Minetti and like Jamie and all those, and then my cousin Jamie and all of them. Like, I never even thought about it. Like how lucky I was I could talk some shit and have some older big kid pissed at me and be like, you got to come through these guys. So sorry.
Oh yeah, it always like that too. Even with your brother, I was always down for anyone that messed with him. Like, nah, you're not. Like I said, I tell your brother, I'm like, you're still my brother, no matter what.
Yeah.
And
it's only been 20 plus years.
20 plus years.
So crazy. I mean, that's not even 20 plus. It's more than that, man. Considering I'm 41 now and I met you when I was 11, it's been like 30 years really that I've known you.
Yeah.
But it's just funny. Like my parents always trusted you to, for us.
Yeah.
Us to go out and do stuff.
I love that with them. Like they never judged me. They knew who I was. Like, they saw, maybe they saw what I was saying, like someone trying to reach out,
maybe
because your mom watched Nikki, and Nikki ransacked your guys' house, broke a banana.
As she should.
A porcelain banana. I remember that. Your mom's like, look what she brought. I'm like, oh, But yeah, I mean, I love your parents. They're still. I still remember them like when they're on Reed Street. Yeah,
they're still the best.
They get beat up by Beernack. Well, your dad does.
Oh my God, he damn near gets sexually assaulted by Beernack, just like us.
But sometimes I think your dad likes it though.
Yeah, I think he does. It makes him feel like one of the boys.
One of the guys.
Like one of the boys. There are nights like, because now where we live here, where we're doing this podcast, like my cousin Jamie, Newell lives right around the corner for the most part, man. It's like, ride your bike, walk over there a distance, and he likes, we'll have a drink in the garage every now and again. But Beer Neck will be over there sometimes, and maybe not as much anymore. But there was a period where he would usually be there, and Jim, that would be like the one thing that would get Jim Bob out of the house, like go do something, that them drinking and watching like Letterkenny or something together. Yep. So then I'd have to be like, how drunk is Beer Neck? If I'm coming over, I gotta know, because I gotta know what I'm walking into, because I gotta know that there's going to be squeezing and there's going to be groping and grabbing.
I learned to ask that now.
Yeah. It's like, how many beers in is he right now?
Jim invited me to industrial.
Oh, he's like, industry tap.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, yeah, it's me, Jim, and so. My dad and my mom are going to show up pretty soon. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll show up. And if he would have told me that I was taking Wilson's place, I don't think I would have came, because I think I was told that I was going to be molested in front of a bunch of people.
But you didn't have to be told that. You knew.
And then I felt the
little
arm.
part of you wanted it.
No, because he was very aggressive, and I haven't ate out with Jim, so he has to take me to dinner first. Like I told Wilson, me and Wilson do that sometimes. Go out to dinner. All right. Mm-hmm. Who's getting the reach around? But yeah, Jim's a very, very strong man. God, that he don't know.
He's so strong. It doesn't even make sense when, like, I'm just like, that. There's something wrong here. These guys are beasts.
It was funny because then Wilson showed up right when Jim was about to leave. Bear Neck was about to leave, and Wilson goes, "I told you, don't grab me."
God, I hope Wilson listens to this. Wilson, I love you very much.
He's going to.
Remember, I was just like, who is this guy my brother's hanging out with? He looks like a mosquito wearing those glasses.
And then he had a skinhead. He had shaved his head.
And then I knew him. Like, I must have just met him the first time when his car like had broken down. So
Which
like
one?
He would talk about the stealth, but I never saw it. I'd be like, does he really have this car? Because he's like, his whole personality was about this car, and I never saw it. And it was like broken down, and then I think he didn't have a license for a little bit, so it was just like,
it was funny. So I watch YouTubers a lot, especially around here. Obviously. Mike Piazza, he's a drift guy. He's from.
He's local.
I think he's Bolingbrook,
but
one of his guys actually lives right down the street over here. He does all the paint jobs, I guess.
Okay.
But anyways, they're talking about Fazoli's.
Hell yeah, dude.
And I guess in Tennessee, there's Fazoli's still.
Yeah, I saw one. And it might have been Tennessee. I don't remember where we were going, but I saw one, and it freaked me out. So it might be up in Wisconsin, actually.
So the guy, Mike, he's never heard of Fazoli. I'm like, what? Are you crazy? I'm like, you around this area, you should know about Fazoli's.
Jim Bob, big Fazoli's guy.
Breadsticks.
Big breadsticks.
Ravioli.
Yep. Big breadstick.
Cheese ravioli.
Whew, Fazoli's was the shit.
No, he had the spaghetti.
Yeah,
spaghetti.
Yeah, spaghetti.
Sorry.
Yep. Ravioli would be way too exotic for Jim Bob.
Jim Bob.
We love you, Jim.
Jim always took me to Olive Garden.
Hell yeah.
Because he wanted the angel hair spaghetti.
Because he's classy. Because he's
classy.
Because when you're here, you're family. That is Olive Garden in a nutshell. No, that whole crew like basically like raised me as a kid, So I'm always thankful and excited to see those guys, and like being able to have like Jim Farkas was on the podcast.
Yeah,
it was fun. He was fun to have on here, man. Talk shit. But I mean, like me and John and Jim, like we knew them forever. We had breakfast at Louis the other day, last weekend. We ran into Jake Hill. Hadn't seen Jake and Ellen in forever.
Jake in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, when we moved into our house in Mayfield, Jake got all the trim for me, like because he was a general contractor at the time. I don't think he does that now, but I was just like, what a good group of humans we've all accumulated over like this long period of time, and to think that we, most of us, if you see each other, it's like nothing, no time goes by. No. But we've lost touch a bunch of times, I'm sure, all of us, but it's just insane, like how it still stays connected like this.
Well, that's how I felt though too. Like when I was married, no offense to her or anything, but like I did the family thing and didn't want to be around anything, which just kind of sucks too. Because I was thinking on the way here too, I'm like, man, my kids don't even know who I'm going to talk to.
All these losers, yeah. Nikki's like, who's that? Like, Booby's brother.
And when I said Booby, and she saw the little spark, but she knows who I'm talking about. Yeah. And but yeah, I'm like, man, none of my younger ones, like my 2 younger ones, 20-year-old and 17-year-old.
It's just hilarious that they're grown ass people now.
Yeah.
Aiden has a kid now. Doesn't compute at all.
He's such a goofball. That kid, he's done so much, and he still thinks he's not done anything. I'm like, bro,
you've accomplished so much more
than. I'm like, bro, you graduated high school, you're a National Guardist. I'm like, come on, bro. I'm like, you're doing things. I'm like, you went to Poland.
Doesn't mean he has to accept and be content, but recognize that you're.
I think he's trying to be humble, but making it
love that.
I hope he's trying to be humble. I mean, I bet you the money he watches, he'd be like, fuck you, Dad.
Like, Dad, shut the fuck up. Why are you
talking?
You
keep
my name out your goddamn mouth.
I don't want no one to know I'm a National Guard. I kill people.
Yeah, right.
Just on Call of Duty.
Yeah. Oh man, Modern Warfare guy. So let's go there then. Let's fill in that blank, right? Because we went from skating and
everywhere.
You were married and then now you've got all these kids. So I mean you had Nikki. You have Nikki and Nikki's what, 30 now?
She'll be 30 in May.
She'll be 30, and then now all of a sudden Aiden's in his early 20s, so there's a gap.
Yeah, he'll be 21 in June.
So we covered Tracy, we covered Karina, we covered so eventually you find Katie.
Yeah, you find Katie.
And then babies.
Yeah, and babies.
Yeah,
they had 2 babies with her and married for a while.
You like an experiment.
Yeah.
This is like a little experiment.
We had fun times, and it's over and done with. And
just
life is life.
Moving
on.
Yeah.
You know. And I got 2 good, crazy.
Is she still around? Like, is she here?
She's still here. She's over off a ridge.
Yeah. Well, you know, you give her address out. You're like, that was his first boob. I'm gonna get the address.
And then your wife's like, hey, I'm gonna go take a walk real quick.
Like, what? So no, I'm just. So she's still. You know, you guys are like.
Yeah,
cordial.
We cordial. I have no.
Not a disaster.
No, I mean, some things were a toxic. You know, someone being raised in a broken home, thinking I don't want to be a broken home person. I think I made it a broken home, but I still got 2 good kids out of it. So, yeah, they had their issues, but who don't have issues?
Well, I mean, you were talking about being young, you know, and like you recognized there was something different, like in your head. Like, did that ever go away? Like, how'd you deal with it? Is that like impacted your adult life much?
I mean, mental health does impact a lot of things. If you don't take care of it, not realizing there's an issue, there's a problem. Like, you gotta figure your own mind itself, because
is it always screaming at you, like in the back of your head, like
I'll say
you always like recognize like there's something here.
Oh yeah, I mean, like,
because I just wonder, because some people I just don't think are aware, like they're just like but you clearly like know.
I like, after halfway through my marriage and went through some trauma that I couldn't control, caused me to realize there was something wrong with me. And talking to someone does help. Like Chester Bennington always said in his one interview, there's that person inside my head that he says Chester, I could say Phil, saying I'm always doing something wrong.
Okay.
I'm bad.
So you always feel like you've had that.
Yeah, always had that. And
is it like bad, like you're not accomplishing enough, or bad, like you don't act right, or you don't treat people right, or
just
like
everything? Everything dirty. Like,
yeah,
you're not gonna do it right. You're gonna fail.
Just even like tasks or anything. Yeah, you're just like you're gonna fuck this job up. You're gonna.
Why you even think about going? Why go to work? Because you're gonna do something stupid. You're gonna say something wrong. They're gonna look at you funny. It's just random stuff. Like, so, I understand that. And it was crazy because after I seen that interview, and I'll admit to it, I go to therapy once every week. Or no. Right now it's, once every week now. I know. Like it's like, damn, I need to let it out, and if I don't, man, I'm just a straight cluster of madness.
So when you say you go to therapy, is it like traditional? Like I have a scheduled appointment. I see one person. I sit down. I talk.
I had this therapist for, man, I want to say 10 years now.
Oh no shit!
Because when I sobered up, I was sober for 6.5, 7 years, and that's when I was going through my roller coaster.
Do you want to talk about that at all? I mean, I don't want to like force you to just talk about anything.
I mean,
you know,
I'll talk about.
What?
Like I said,
what was that period like going into?
Well, that period was horrible. I mean, I play airsoft, which is kind of funny.
So if anybody doesn't know, it's like kind of like BB guns, but they're safer, and it's almost like paintball meets BB guns, kind of.
Okay, so we could go like this.
Yeah, go deep. Go deep, dude. This is your show. This is your episode. So if you want to go in the path you're passionate about something, let's hear it.
It starts like this. Hold on, let me take a drink.
Yeah, get in there, get a sip, get your whistle wet.
So when Phil was a knucklehead running with the gangs, he decided to
roll with the gang.
He decided to collect a couple felonies, not some regular Class A, Class B. He said, "Let's do the XX, you know, that's
good felonies."
Yeah, it's good felonies, you know. So
and you're over here being hard on yourself, like you half-ass shit. Like, no,
I jumped
all the way.
I can never do anything little.
Yeah.
So, which I didn't know until the second day, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're a Class X felon." Well, oh shit,
fuck me.
Yeah, okay. I'm looking at 35, 40. All right, cool, whatever. Got lucky, did short time. So Illinois is a good state to live in.
Was that sarcasm, or was that? I don't know if you were like, I got lucky that I lived in Illinois and I committed this crime.
Yeah, because I can't legally own a firearm. So,
and that's for life.
That's for life.
Forever.
Here in
Illinois.
Because I go to Texas and buy ammo and do whatever I want to do, because Texas is like, hey, that's your pass.
America.
Yep. And anyways, so I was paintballing for a while. I'm like, this is boring. And I saw some guys playing with airsoft guns that look real. I'm like, damn, that's dope. I want to play G.I. Joe.
Yeah, they're like legit. They look like real.
Yeah, so I got into that, and I met a lot of different groups of guys in Chicago Airsoft Association. I wonder if they're going to watch it, but they brought me in like a family. They brought me in like a brother, and I still talk to these guys. These guys are cops, veterans, like us. That's regular guys. I met one guy. I worked with him for a good while through Midwest Airsoft Guerrillas, which is like another company inside the community of airsofting around Illinois. And I became a ref, and that was like some extra cash on the side.
Wait, how do you ref? Like, you got to go through like a program and shit
to
learn it?
It just basically
pass a test. Like,
it basically wanted you to be a babysitter and tell people
what do you mean? Like, don't fuck around.
Just I'm like, you got a grown man, 26-year-old yelling at a 13-year-old saying, "Call your hit."
Oh, okay.
That stuff.
So wait, so should we take a step back and talk about that? That like, what is the game? Like, what's a normal game, quote unquote?
A game,
like,
it'd be like okay.
Is it set up like paintball or something?
Yeah, it's same like paintball.
Okay.
But it's more of an honor system.
Oh, I got hit. Like,
yeah, but then again, as a ref, you could see you have to be watching people, because when you get hit by these things, they do sting. It's like getting zapped by.
So you're gonna wince, or you're gonna like set up like a common scenario, like a common day. Like a Saturday, the fucking boys are all together. You got red versus blue, whatever.
That's what happens usually.
So how many people are out doing, like, how many people at a time on a team? How does the rule?
The games could
rules
go.
work?
I mean, if a good day, it'd be about 60 people. So it'd be 30 against 30.
Oh, for real? So it's like fucking Fortnite happening in real life.
So it's like do team deathmatch, 3 respawns. Once you're dead after 3 respawns, you're basically 2 respawns, and then you're out. You're out. You stand on side.
Yeah.
And it just whatever.
What's it like set up visually though? Is it like
you're on the field?
Is there like is there like places to hide behind?
Oh yeah.
And then,
I mean,
does everybody start from one side and then you start on this side, and there's like a center? Like, is there a flat? Is there anything to capture?
So how it goes where I was working at, It was.
If you don't want to talk about this shit, that's fine, Phil. I'm trying to get some information because I don't know. I don't know how this shit works.
Where I worked at was CPX. We were contracted. We were considered contracted out. So we had that cool name, contractors. Because we were hosting these games. We're legit. We're straight military.
Shit, though, for real.
Yeah. So we were running these games
killer
on these fields, and the fields will be cars, abandoned cars, trees, whatever, wilderness. And you start on one side, south side, north side.
30 fucking people.
Yeah, just run at each other,
strategy?
Start shooting. Yeah,
no strategy.
Sometimes there was no strategy.
Like
I
5 people know each other, another 10 people know each other.
To be honest, to have the 9-year-old with the Walmart Springer gun, I think he might have killed more people than the 20-year-old that spent $1,000 on his gun, because he was running around trying to shoot people while the 20-year-old thought he was John Wick.
Yeah,
and trying to act like he's going to maneuver and get.
He was doing that tactical shit.
It's just like paintball. You're on the field shooting each other. Paintball is a lot easier to ref because you see the paint.
Oh yeah.
So now, that's when we do the little brief of like, listen, I don't want to hear call your hits. I shot.
What's call your hit? Can you explain?
Call your hit, because if you keep shooting somebody and they're not moving and they're not acting like they got hit.
Oh, so you got to be like, I got you.
Yeah.
Or the person who got hit needs to call out.
Yeah, just call it out. And because I've watched fights happen with older men.
Yeah,
trying to beat up a
60-year-old man.
And the older man, he's tacked out. He's like wearing straight military gear.
This is his fucking
life. This is his life, because he didn't join the army.
He's like, my wife fucking hates me. My kids hate me. This is my fucking shit on the weekend. Do not take this from me.
So that's how the game goes. I mean, if you want to look it up, I want to do the shout out to American Milsim, because me and my son traveled for that.
What is it? American what?
American Milsim.
Milsim?
Milsim. Yeah.
Like MILL?
Like military simulation.
Oh, okay.
We traveled to Texas, Georgia, southern Indiana.
So this is like this shit?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
They do a good games. My buddies do.
Look at these boys. They're out there.
Yeah, my buddies do the Milsim West. They do the 72-hour games, where the games don't stop, bro. They start Friday night. It's like
a real war.
They start Friday night. They ruck to their fob, and then they camp while they're playing this game. So you could be sitting taking a shit and get shot by somebody.
No shit.
Yeah.
This shit looks real. Look at this. These fucking guys are out here like this is life. Wow. Holy shit. So this was something that you used to do.
We still do.
We still do it?
Yeah, we still do it.
Do you think this had anything to do with Aiden wanting to be part of the military?
Some people say I try to groom him to be a Marine.
How? How could you? You weren't a Marine.
No.
Did you ever have that thought? Like I should do that.
I should have. I mean,
now you look back, you're like I should have.
That's why you know what my dad has told me. If your child loves something, light that fire. Keep adding to it. Show them. Just keep pushing something. If they love it, keep on doing it. With him, the kid was little. I don't know. It might have been Call of Duty itself. Watching playing Call of Duty or something.
That game is the ultimate recruiter.
Bro, it is. I mean, when he was little, he saw me playing the game, and then he wanted Nerf guns, and I was the Secret Santa, like,
of course, buying
Nerf guns every Christmas. And Katie used to get so mad.
It's fine.
Instead of the BB gun in the back, it was a new Nerf gun. You know what I'm saying? And he loved it.
Was that something? Did you guys have like disagreements about that when it comes to like when he actually was like, I want to go to the military? Was she like, hell go?
She's like, do it. We signed him off early. We signed him off at 17.
Yeah.
And he's doing his thing.
And he was ready.
Yeah, he was ready, but I don't think he was really, really ready. And I love you, Aiden, but I think you're good now. I think you know what you need to do.
You weren't quite sure.
Yeah, it's a little bit no. But I mean,
he's fucking 17.
he chose.
I'm trying to get that Subway money when I was 17.
He chose a better group. The Marine Corps, they want door kickers, crane eaters, and Army gave him a better option, and I feel that he picked a good choice.
Yeah. And is he still active?
He's active,
doing everything.
Yeah, what we talked, he said he's going to do a career out of it, and I pray that he does that.
My college roommate told me he was going to do a couple years, and he's 20-some years later. He's still
making that money.
Loves it.
Yeah,
loves it, dude. He's been everywhere. He's been, like you said, Aiden he was in Poland for years. He's in Germany for years. In Japan for years. He's been all over the place, raising his kids. Wife comes along. Everything. He loves it.
Okay, so go back to me doing airsoft things where I met a good guy, a good young dude. He reminded me of you guys. His name was Jim Payne.
Just white and ignorant. No.
Oh, he was awesome, bro. I mean, I love it. We were gay as hell together.
Yeah. In the best way.
In the best way. But we used to hang out. He loved punk music. I loved punk music, which I hid that for half my life, bro. Like
you're such a fucking rap god too, though. Like,
yeah,
you introduced me to everything rap.
Yeah. But yeah, because I was always trying to cover up, because growing up, I had my...
But we all loved punk too, though. I mean, No Effect. We were just listening to No Effect.
See, but the best thing is...
Trio. Okay. You're wearing a Misfit shirt right now.
Yeah, so go back to my younger years, before all the knucklehead stuff, I was a little Mexican skateboarder.
Right.
And it was funny because being a Mexican, liking skateboarding stuff and punk rock music, that was like, what are you listening to?
Funny, if you were that kid right now, it would just be normal.
Right.
It would just be like regular. Like, oh, he's fucking into that.
Still to this day, they're like, man, you don't seem like a Mexican guy.
Emo Mexican guy.
Yeah, like, you're not a Mexican. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm American. But anyways.
A little bit of all that.
I met my buddy Jim Payne, and we were together for, I want to say 6, 7 years, 8 years, reffing games, going to Kuma's.
Oh, hell yeah.
Eating beer, drinking food.
Eating beer, drinking food. Wait,
that was our thing.
The other way?
Yeah, nah.
Is that the opposite?
We were intoxicated when you write stuff on
Eating
Facebook.
Eating beer, drinking food.
Yeah. And we went to a couple of Dropkick Murphys concerts, met up there and stuff like that. And yeah, bro. And well, this guy, my brother, he had mental illness that, ended him.
Oh, so he did the final.
Yeah.
He went final boss.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Hope some of my guys don't get mad about this, but talking about him, but the day before he did all that stuff, we were talking about going to another concert. He's like, yeah, I'm down for it. Let's do it. We'll call we have a buddy that ran Midwest Airsoft Gorillas, MAG company. He lives in Wisconsin now, and he's like, I'll call him up and be like, hey, me and Phil are going to go up there. Can we crash at your pad or whatever? Because we want to go to this concert out there. And so that's what me and him were discussing that Saturday. And I'm like, cool, man, I'll talk to you Monday or later this week or whatever and find out what's going on. He's like, all right, cool. And Monday morning, I saw a Facebook status saying Jim left the world.
Like, it could be like this cryptic message, but Jim, Jim has struggled with whatever.
So that's another thing that messed me up. I didn't know he was struggling.
So he never actually talked about it.
No one talked about it.
So you could have even been looking at this guy like, this is almost like a solid dude for me, because I struggle sometimes.
Yeah,
man, I wish I could be like Jim.
This guy, he ran miles and miles every day.
So he's a Goggins type guy, huh?
Yeah, he just ran, and which I kind of realized why he was running.
Demons.
Yeah, and it was fucked up. And at first I thought it was a joke because, when you're around guys that say dumb things, like someone posts, oh, we lost another good one. Yeah, he's getting married. or he has a girlfriend. We're not going to see him on the field anymore. Yeah. So I started texting my buddies and stuff, and I wasn't getting no responses. And I think I got home. I'm a part of an airsoft team, Tactical Idiots, and Polak. It was basically the main guy that started it. He responded. He's like, "Yeah, Jim did it," and it was crazy. I was like, "That's fucked up," and it was funny. First thing I did was, I'm gonna get fucked up.
Yeah,
bro.
And that was like that was your go-to.
It was,
didn't even have to think about it, just
because I honestly, mentally, I didn't know how to deal with a loss to something that you couldn't beat up. You know, like I said, from the gang stuff, you lose a buddy.
Yeah.
You just go randomly beat up people or shoot at people.
It's a way
to release.
Not like it's a release. It doesn't do anything, but it does something for you mentally.
Yeah.
To like a pacifier of some sort for like a minute.
Yeah, and I actually had no alcohol in the house. Well, I had alcohol, but I hadn't like beer or nothing to drink. And my neighbor, when me and Katie moved into the house, he gave me a bottle of Gentleman's Jack.
Oh. Okay, here's a decent bottle of whiskey for you.
Oh, bro.
And you're like, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, and I grabbed that Gentleman's Jack. I drank that whole bottle before Katie got home.
Oh, Jesus.
Katie got home, was like, hey, where's dinner or whatever? You make dinner or we got to order something? And she looked at the bottle. She's like, did you drink that? I'm like, yeah. I'm going to go take a shower. Bro, I would think I was so numb that alcohol didn't.
It didn't even feel you were drunk. Like,
no, I was not. Wow. I was not even drunk. I was not even drunk.
Did you? Was that like I don't know. I don't know how to ask. Like, is it? Or were you the type of guy to be like, you say she comes home and ask where's dinner? Like, you're not the type of guy like that where you call her or text her throughout the day and be like, Jim. Like, you just held that in for yourself.
I honestly, I think I told her, but I don't think she responded.
But she didn't realize, or
I don't think
she's in healthcare, right? So she's probably
So I mean, she's busy, and I honestly don't remember. I mean, like I said, I might have been drunk, but
like, I'm going to the shower.
I just got up from the table. I mean, you don't drink Gentleman's Jack with pop or Coke, right. But I did. Because it was just
mixing it.
I was just so mad, and just did what I did. That's when I think what triggered my anxiety and my depression that I didn't know I had. Well, I knew I had anxiety.
Right, but it was kind of like almost like dormant inside of you.
Oh yeah.
Like it was there.
Oh yeah, and it floodgated.
But there was like another level to it that hadn't been like unlocked.
It was like level 69. You're screwed. I could laugh about it now. I mean, I might get teary-eyed about it, but honestly, it was. I didn't realize I was going down that hole because I felt normal, but then it started, and then I don't know. I was drinking a lot. It got to the point. I think Katie said a couple of times, like she bought like on a Saturday 2 cases of Coors Light sale or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "This better be here by Wednesday."
She had to start rationing that shit.
Yeah, and I wasn't, bro. I wasn't. I was just chugging, and I was drinking so bad.
Like, what were you doing? What were you working at the time?
It's my job now.
Shh! Don't hope that.
Oh, they know that, bro. That they know. They're like, Phil's gonna come here and shoot everybody up. No, my harm was gonna do self-harm. Yeah. And
hated myself, not you guys.
Yeah, the guys that in my head, they're all the same me.
They're for me. You guys don't get to participate in that.
Yeah, it got bad. I mean, there was a holiday. I even told my mom and my sister. I was like, I think I'm gonna stop drinking. And they're like, well, that's good. Let's do a shot.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, my
Thanks,
family.
Candy.
I hate to say it. My whole family knows we're alcoholics. I mean, they try to hide it. They try to act like they're not alcoholics, but you're alcoholics. I'm an alcoholic. I know that. But yeah. I mean, so I said that, and I didn't. And then, I think it was around Thanksgiving. I think it was Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving because we don't celebrate Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving because at the time me and Katie were married, and so we do Thanksgiving at her parents' house and then my mom's house. And we got smashed at my mom's house. And prior to that, I got drunk at home by myself, and that's when I started realizing that I'm something's bad's gonna happen. So I was like, oh, Phil's being drunk, you know. I'm gonna do, drink more beers. I'll black out, pass out. Katie be mad at me. I'll be hungover.
We'll figure it out.
I'll get some Mexican food tomorrow, and I'll tell Katie I'm sorry. Give her a kiss on the cheek or something, or whatever, or kiss her ass. I don't know. And it was Thanksgiving. We were at my mom's house. We ate and had fun, whatever. And we ended up back at the house. My sister and her husband came there. We were just drinking in the garage. And then a buddy of mine that played airsoft that was close to Jim too, he called me. That was another trigger. Both were drunken guys that just lost a friend a year ago.
Yep. Like, oh, it's almost like anniversary or like just a reminder of.
It was his anniversary. We had a game that September, like a memorial for him. And it was a drunken cry fest, I guess, on the phone. And so, yeah, that happened. Everyone got drunk at the house. My my sister's husband has weird shit. Like, they were supposed to stay at the house. Then all of a sudden he called an Uber and didn't say nothing to nobody. So there's someone knocking on my garage.
Irish goodbye. Like,
yeah, there's someone knocking on the garage. Hey, are you Uber's here? We're like, who the fuck called Uber? I'm fucking drunk.
Yeah, I ain't going anywhere.
I ain't going nowhere. I looked at Katie. Katie's like, I'm going to bed. I don't know who called that. And, then was my sister's like, I guess I got to leave. I was like, What? I'm like, no, stay, whatever. But yeah, so before that, I had the whole crazy talk with my buddy. And yeah, when there's nobody else around, alcohol and your little people on your shoulders are like, hey, guess what? Tonight's the night. I'm like, oh, shit. Really?
I'm like, oh, it's a good night, huh?
I'm like, oh, okay, let's do it. I sat in the bathroom fighting demons. Thank God I was piss drunk. My therapist said my buddy was looking over me.
So what do you do in that moment when you're sitting in the bathroom? Like, you're sitting in the bathroom and constantly just going through your head is what? Like did you have, I mean, this sounds like very like gross to say, but like, did you have like a plan? Like, were you this is how I would do it, or like this is what I'm gonna do, or like was it just like I'm sitting here debating with myself if I should or shouldn't live anymore?
I honestly, I still remember I had a gun. Katie had a gun.
Oh, so you had means.
Yeah, I had
in the
means.
House.
And the messy thing is, prior to that, a month before that, I took all the ammo out of the mags. I took them all out, and I put them in her drawer.
Just for like,
for my
sober thinking,
sober like,
I should probably do this for my own
own being.
Yeah,
and somehow I missed one. Maybe I didn't miss it. Maybe it was just like a
subconscious.
Maybe you might need that. And I I still don't know how I did this. You know, you know a Glock, Glock mag.
It's my first gun. My first gun.
You cannot put
Glock
that
19.
You cannot put that round in that mag backwards.
Right.
You cannot. Like, I did.
I mean, I was gonna say you shouldn't be able to.
I did, and I racked it.
Oh shit.
I racked it, and the messy thing is when I racked it back, it clicked. Like it was ready to go.
Felt like it was.
Yeah. And I kept trying and trying, and I was so drunk. I had the bottle in my hand, and I was getting mad at myself. I know I was cussing out loud, and Katie was in bed. I was in the bathroom right next to the bed, and I might have been there so long. Like I know I blacked out in and out. Like cause there's times where I know I woke up and like was just like, what the fuck's going on? And then having the gun in my hand, I'm like, oh, okay, I remember now.
And the bullet, it was chambered backwards.
It wasn't chambered.
It didn't quite chamber.
It didn't quite chamber, but when you racked the slide back, the slide went right over like it chambered.
So that's weird. Oh my god.
So
that's crazy.
I'll tell you more about that too, because I still can't figure that out. I open the door and Katie's yelling at me, telling she's like, "Go, drunk ass, go to fucking bed, go to bed."
And you're holding the gun.
I'm holding the gun. And I mean, it was dark. I mean, the only see my bathroom it was a shower, 2 sinks, and then it had the shit house, like it had a shit room.
Yeah,
and then it went to closet. Yeah,
like the separate shit room.
Yeah,
right.
So you don't have to smell everything.
Like with a door, like for the shitter
yeah,
itself. Yeah,
yeah. So when I opened the light, and then she says something, and I go, I can't even fucking do this right, and I flung the gun on the ground.
I was wondering if you were going to get to that point where it's like I thought I was so stupid I was so worthless I couldn't get this to work.
And she started. I think she realized, and then she started yelling, but crying, like, "What the fuck's your problem?" Like,
Yeah.
And I'm like, whatever. I'm like, you married me, whatever. You got to deal with it. You
signed up for this. Like, no, wait, what?
So the next day, drunken, hungover Phil and pissed off Katie. If anyone knows Katie, they know Katie. How she gets mad and sometimes rationalizes, sometimes she don't. Love the woman for who she is, but I think at that time she didn't know how to react. Which who knows? Who knows?
Mean, yeah. Depending on how you were raised, what you've gone through in your life, who knows? Who would know how to deal with that situation?
Like I said, I mean, it's not her fault, and it's not my fault, because I might have been a douchebag too. Like, so. And she's like, "You seriously tried that?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then it was just end of conversation. I think. I honestly don't remember like how afterwards a week goes by, and I told her, I'm like, I'm not drinking no more. I'm done. Like, because the more I drink, the more it gets louder.
The easier it became.
Yeah, it's like shit. Mm-hmm. I think I was off work, and sober as hell, no alcohol for like a month. I was on vacation or something, and dude, the voices, when people say you have voices, it's not like crazy voices. It's just the thoughts. Yeah. It's thoughts. When people say voices, the way I explain myself is it's thoughts. It just started waterfalling and just coming at me. And I texted her. I'm like, "Hey, you need to come home." And she's like, "Why?" I'm like, "It's not good." And it sucked because she's a nurse, and
that's right. It's not an ailment you can solve.
Right. She couldn't leave work, whatever. And I give her that. She loves her job. She has a good career in what she does. I gotta tell everyone, I love the fact the way she looks at her job. Her career is 100%, 110%. She's constantly doing it. But I feel she should have came home.
Right.
Granted, I didn't do nothing.
You just needed it.
Yeah, I needed it.
You just needed it.
Yeah. The next day, we sat down, and that's when I started looking for help. And going to my therapist and a shrink, which I have my own thoughts on shrinks.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
I doubt you were raised in a family that, any of us in that era were like, go get therapy.
Bro, the shrinks, bro, they want to test their new product.
Oh, okay.
Their new product.
What are you talking about, like pills?
Yeah,
like,
pills. Yeah,
medicine-wise.
Yeah, medicine-wise. They want to. They're trying to get sponsored.
Big pharma, man.
They want to push it. They don't.
They want to numb, sedate.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's the case. I don't know,
sure,
but maybe at the time or the place where you were at, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's widespread, but clearly there's benefits to prescribing a shit ton of SSRIs to people.
That's
SSRIs been clearly, proven in America for the last.
Some SSRIs are good for some people, though. So I mean, I'm not going to burn them on
definitely don't want to be like, don't do it. There's definitely a good use for it, but I mean, there's also, you got Dope Sick and all these documentaries and things that you see uncovering a lot of like the opioid crisis, things like that. There's clearly like kickbacks and financial gain for people.
Yeah. So, I mean, I started seeing this therapist, and I've been seeing it, like I said, it's going on, I don't know how long.
10 plus years?
10 plus years. The shrink, I kicked I tried all the depression medicines. They worked for like 6-8 months.
It's just like efficacy just wears off.
And they kept upping my dosages, and it's like,
are you seeing like side effects on top of that then when you're taking so much now all of a sudden this is a problem?
Go back to the sexual things.
I don't know what you're talking about. When were we talking about
I could be a porn star with some Lexapro.
Lexington Steel.
Yeah. I'm going to tell this funny story. I have to, because
Johnny Sins.
I got to tell this funny story, though.
All right, I'm here for it.
I come home. I've been on Lexapro for like 6 months. Katie's like, oh, I'm cooking dinner. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to go take a shower. Go to the shower. I'm like, I'm going to rub one off. Man.
Shower time.
I almost passed out trying to get the climax. I'm trying to be the little squirrel to get his nut. I text Katie. I'm like, hey, I think something wrong with me. She's like, what? I'm like, come upstairs. And she's like, why? I'm like, come upstairs. She goes, what? I'm like, look, I know you're downstairs. I just wanted to rub one off, and I cannot nut. She goes, what? I'm like,
it's not happening.
It's not happening. And she goes, it's Lexapro. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's science.
I'm like, why would they do this to people? Why? Like, okay, you're helping my mental state, but you're not helping.
Yeah.
You're not letting me relieve myself
of things that you like to do.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell? So, yeah.
Lexapro.
If Katie's watching this, yeah.
Sorry, Katie.
Yeah. I told that story. And I yeah, it was messed up. So, like I said, I was on a bunch of meds, sober as hell, just trying to figure out all my stuff, and I read my packet.
What's your packet?
For my shrink, and what they said about me between my therapist and my shrink.
Okay.
I had to send it in for my.
How's the difference, your therapist and your shrink?
A therapist is just someone just to talk to. That don't prescribe. They just try to help you understand life.
And they're feeding what you're saying to the
sometimes.
Shrink,
sometimes.
No? Are you giving? Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes they want to talk or whatever. They do what they do. But I had to send in for FMLA for work because the other medicine that I was on, some days I wake up and didn't want to go to work. I was just zonked. Like, everyone's like, oh man, you're at home. But I'm like, yeah, I'm laying in bed looking at the ceiling fan, like wondering.
Fucking miserable right now.
Like, and I read my packet. I started laughing because I was like, man, I'm that messed up. Like, I don't think I have severe depression anymore. I think I have mild depression. I think I raw dog it pretty well now.
Is it weird to even think that there's levels?
Yeah, well, I mean, because
it's like concussions. Like there's a mild concussion.
Yeah,
like it's a concussion.
My anxiety level is always off the wall. It could be high. It could be low. It could be just like I don't want to be around people and so on. But what killed me was when I read Suicidal Tendencies, and it all came back to me talking to my shrink about me gangbanging.
What?
Yeah. Like, why did I join the gang? Was it to be part of something, or was it just to ease a way out?
Put yourself in danger.
Yeah. So it was. I'm like, wow. Like, I read all this stuff in this paperwork, and it was like, I'm not even supposed to see it. Like, I don't know how I got it.
Yeah. How did you have it?
I don't know. I think I was trying to get paperwork done correctly, or I don't know. FMLA paperwork shouldn't even show that to your work.
Yeah.
Like, they shouldn't even know what's going on in your life. But it was in there, and I read it, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, my shrink even told me after I talked about it, I'm like, so honestly, do you think when I was younger, joining a gang was me trying to go that?
It's like the classic answer, right? Like, oh, you were just looking for something to fill a void or something.
Right.
And you were like, no. Or they may even come up with like, no, you might have been trying to find a way to check out without having to try too hard.
And then that's when I started talking to my shrink more about it, and he goes, there's a lot of crazy things that go out there in the media, like the secondhand suicide. Secondhand suicide is like getting in a car accident and dying because you might have caused it, but the other person ended you, so
right. It's like, yeah, you don't get credit for a suicide, but
someone you give it, you
ain't mad about it,
right?
Kind of like finish the job.
I mean, I like I said, I went down that hole of craziness. Granted, I'm drinking again. Everyone thinks I'm gonna go nutty again, but like, no.
People see this and they're like, "Why is he giving him alcohol?"
Nah.
I mean, you and I connected here and there, like over the last like more recent years, and that you were totally sober.
Right.
There were times I'd bring you some zombie dust years ago, and then you were like totally sober. And then recently, when we were talking, I was like, "Do you drink?" And you're like, "No, I've been drinking again."
Yeah.
And then I ran into you at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah. That's the thing is like. Being sober, it was good, but man, I don't want to say it wasn't me, but it was me, and it was good. It was good being mentally clear.
Okay.
But then,
were you feeling that anywhere else? Like, was like, oh, I was sober, but then that's when I was on the most pills or like the highest. Like,
I was.
Because I even find it with like easy little shit, like doing dry January or like even in like full on. I smoked until like 2010, and then when I stopped smoking, I was chewing all the time, and then I quit smoking. Okay, you quit smoking, but
I'm vaping.
You got half a lip of skull in right now, and then and then I would buy an Elf bar, and I'd like it tastes good, like I'm vaping.
When I went sober, I did a cold turkey, straight cold turkey.
When you say alcohol sober,
alcohol sober, and I'd never replaced it with anything else. I probably smoked cigarettes here and there.
Yeah.
But never
living that life is Zen.
Yeah, now I'm doing Zen here and trying to stop everything. But
I'm gonna steal one of those from you before you leave, so
I have one. You want one? You do now.
I love a Zen every now and again.
It's a citrus.
Get you going, right?
It's a citrus, bro. Go ahead.
Gets the brain fire in. Nootropics.
But yeah, I mean, I started drinking like, I hate to say about me and Kay getting divorced, but she said in our session that we had a marriage session, and she's like, I'm afraid that he's going to start drinking again, being him again. And it's like, what do you mean being me again? I'm like, I'm the same person. You know what I'm saying? And that made me feel like man, she thinks I'm a straight alcoholic, don't want to do shit or something like that. Then again, that's that mental. The voices tell me that she's saying all these negatives, and she just said one word. She's, I don't want him to start drinking again, which I understand, So yeah, I lost track. I got ADHD on that one.
No, we were just talking. I was just talking about replacing things, right? Like, so you were, you stopped drinking, but then are you doing more? Yeah, more medication. Are you filling the hole with something?
Yeah, I wasn't. I was just straight sober, trying to live a good, healthy life. And then the best thing is, like, the guys I played airsoft with, going back to them.
How long ago was this?
Shit. I've been divorced for, 4 years now? I think 3.5, 4 years. So
you're divorced, sober.
Divorced, sober.
Playing airsoft still.
Still playing airsoft.
Okay.
The guys have noticed a lot different of me of running around more. I was more a objective person instead of just like, hey, let's go do this, But I still have my laziness. I'll be up, they like game on, and I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna walk while you run. I'm gonna walk. But I was more objective oriented person, and but yeah, I don't know what made me start drinking though.
Yeah, what came back?
Nothing. I think I was
like, were you telling yourself like, I think I can handle this now a little bit better, or like, I mean, do you feel like since you've been drinking again, do you feel like you managed it more? Like, you're not finding yourself in situations where you're like, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have.
I do
had that extra beer.
I think I do that all the time.
But
though.
I was gonna say, as I was saying that, I was like, God, I regret shit that comes out of my mouth seconds after all the time. I do this for 2-3 hours, every week with somebody.
I learned draft beer is my worst enemy.
Draft beer?
Yeah, draft.
That seems like a falsity. I don't feel like that's a real thing.
Bro.
Come on, I'm a beer guy. I love beer. I know my beers.
I counted beers.
I think it's because maybe that might be because you're probably typically getting 16 to 22 ounces instead of a 12-ounce can that you might have at home.
A pint.
That might be the problem, because you're getting 4 ounces per.
See, now you're doing your brewery thing on me.
Well, yeah, 16-ounce pint. 16-ounce pint.
I see everything in your head just like.
Mm-hmm. Because at home you'd be drinking one of these 12 ounces, but you go to a brewery, you're getting at least 16 ounces.
Okay, when I go to the bar,
one.
Okay, I've counted my beers. I count my beers from a person that I got divorced from, because she counted my beers all the damn time. So I've learned.
They should, right?
I've learned to count my own beers, and if I have at least 8 bottles, I'm normal.
All right.
If I have 8 drafts, I'm like getting kind of sloshy.
But you're talking about 8 12-ounce bottles to 16-ounce drafts.
Yeah.
So you're getting 4 extra ounces every time you're doing it. But now, if you're noticing that at 4 draft beers to 8 bottles, now we got some science to do.
I never really thought about that.
But Phil, you're not wrong here, because I've heard that a million times, and I've even said that before about myself, like, where it's like draft beer fucks me up. Like,
it does.
But I mean, then I went and worked in craft beer for so long. Now I don't even know what works anymore, because I just drink IPAs all the time. And there might be 7%, then there's a 6%er, and then small breweries, they say 6%, they might be 8.
Bro, seriously, so when I sobered up, the sober year for 7 years, I'll say 7 years. I used to have it on my phone. I used to have a calendar that just flipped every time, and now I stopped it, but I think I deleted it because I hate looking at it. Because I'll be drunk and be like, fuck. And
I was cool, man.
Yeah, I was actually a good guy.
Look at me.
And fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
What, you're just talking about like you'd look at when you were sober versus how long? Is that what you're saying? Like,
I don't even remember now.
Or like what sparked it? Like what sparked you getting back into it?
When I started drinking, I remember the night that I bought 2 tall boys.
And that was like the restart button?
Yeah,
that was like I hit reset.
Yeah, it was just like,
all right, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Did it take you a while? Were there like nights where you thought about doing it and then you were like, don't do it?
It was just a random night.
And it just felt right.
Yeah.
It just felt like this is fine.
It was a nice summer night. I was sitting in my car. I had to move in with my parents.
Uh-huh.
I was sitting in our driveway in the car. I'm like listening to music. I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to get me beers. and I drove down to the gas station, got 2 tall boys. I was shaking like I was gonna get carded. Like I was under 21. I was like, the guy's like, "You good?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine, man."
Yeah, I'm
He's
fucking fine.
He's like, "Is that what you want?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Here, take my card." I get in the car, drive home. I text a friend of mine, and it was funny because I told her, I'm like, "I'm about to drink a beer." She's like, "No, you're not." I'm like, "Yeah, I am." She's like, "No, you're not." I'm like, "Yeah, I am."
Yeah.
And
just 2 tall boys.
I loaned her my AirPods. No, what we do? We went on a hike, and she had one AirPod. I had the other AirPod, but she had the case. The case. I don't know. Anyways, she didn't know where I lived. Somehow, she found where I lived through the AirPod.
Oh, like at the whatever, yeah.
Like she find my the other ear.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, so I was sitting there drinking, and I text her. I'm like, "Yep, down with the first can," and all of a sudden, bam, on my window, like the back window of my car. I'm like, "What the fuck?" She goes, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I thought I was getting jacked.
I'm like, you're Mexican. You could get shot out here.
Poking around in cars and shit. Yeah.
But yeah, she's like, "Why are you drinking?" I'm like, "I don't know." I'm like, "You want one?" She's like, "No." She's like, I'm like, "I got one more." I'm like, "Well, it's actually this tall boy." I'm like, "You want a sip?" She's like, she took it. I'm like, I thought she was gonna dump it. She drank it and she goes, "Why?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm bored." What up?
I don't have a good fucking philosophical answer for you. I just did it.
I'm like sitting there. I'm like, "We gotta get more beer." She's like, "No." But we ended up getting more beer anyways. Yeah. And she sat there and she's like, "Well, you know what? If you could control it, control it." I'm like, "Well, you're talking to the wrong person about controlling."
Do you remember how long ago was that, you think? How long you been?
4 years ago.
It's about 4 years ago.
It was like, I think I started drinking.
Reopened the gates a little bit.
I think I started drinking like 8 months after my divorce.
Do you feel like now, like, do you find yourself like boozing heavily at home or anything, or like just?
Yeah, every once in a while,
just like solo chilling.
Yeah. Bro, that's all I do. I don't hang out with nobody.
Well, I know you don't. What the fuck's up with that? No. I can't hang out with nobody anyway. I got too many kids now. Yeah. I gotta sit at home. I do all my drinking alone. But the good thing is Shannon likes a beer, so she'll drink some beer with me.
Yeah, but I mean, I started drinking again, and
like to the point where you get concerned. Like how is your gauge for yourself? Like how self-aware do you feel now? You know, I don't even know if what I'm asking is making sense right now.
I know what you're saying.
To be honest, but like,
sometimes like I'll wake up and be like, "How the fuck I got home?"
Oh,
but
so then it's like, all right, that's a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem. I mean, I had 3 nights like that within 4 months, but
that's a while back.
One was recent.
God damn it, Phil.
But I had, like I said, I have triggers, and there's always those the memes I say, "Your triggers are not our responsibility. It's your responsibility." I'm like, "Fuck you. I'm going to drink more because I saw this meme."
God damn it.
But I mean, man, my last trigger was horrible. It wasn't horrible. It was more of a reminiscing of back in the day. And I didn't even plan to go drink. I planned to go eat some tacos, have a couple beers, and go home. And then all of a sudden, I was just like, fuck it.
Where'd you go?
Lalo's.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone knows Lalo's in Shanahan. Don't ever say my name. Don't say my name.
Why? Did you do something there?
No, I didn't do nothing bad. They love me there.
Oh, good.
Because I tip well.
Oh,
but
take care of them.
It's like how we were at City of Champions. How we were at the Cock.
Don't even bring fucking City of Champions up.
The Cock was our home.
Poor Mario got fucking mutilated there. That poor guy.
Shut up. He got beat up a couple times there.
Man, poor Mario.
He blames me for one. It wasn't even my fault.
I mean, that's his fault. He drew that. That was his original artwork.
Oh, I know.
Right there.
I know. Off his Snapchat.
Love that dude. Love me some Mario.
But yeah, I mean, so now where we are now, I mean, I raw dog mental health like it's nothing.
So you stay away from like the medication side.
Now. I try. I was about to go back on.
Feel like you're safer that way. Feel like
the little person in the back of my head is like, hey, if you're on meds, you can't drink.
Yeah. So you have like this responsibility in your head too, like a little bit of it. Where you're like, Like, I'm already fucking forgetting how I got home sometimes. I can't be adding medication to this shit.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the last meds that I was on, I was at 100 milligrams, and it was like the top dose. And I want to say it was it was that joke that we talked about. I can't even remember the joke. Paxil. I think it was Paxil. Because it makes you happy.
It was just like fucking way high.
Yeah, it was way high. I'm like,
crazy.
okay, so you give me the highest dosage, and I'm like, still like,
it's just kind of working.
Yeah,
it's just kind of working.
And then I hear they're like, oh, you gotta exercise, you gotta eat healthy. I'm like,
yeah,
look,
sure.
Okay, yeah, but
sure, everybody needs to do that.
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, I go hikes. I go to Starved Rock. I mean, right down the street from my parents' house, there's trails, and I do that thing. I do the nature thing, you know, and but that was a bad part of my life. Of, you know, like I said, the whole mental illness, finding out that a lot of people are dealing with it, but they're afraid to say something.
Yeah, I do love seeing, like, you're always posting something like in your stories and stuff. Just always like that kind of. It's like it's not like it's positive, but it's like these videos are created for the positive side, or like just sharing. Like some people like share your shit, like, if you can.
I get so many messages from real close friends like, man, quit crying, or quit posting it. Why? What's wrong? Like, why?
Right.
I'm like, it's not that. I'm like, I post it just so someone reads it and
everybody sees it and they think immediately Phil's crying out for something.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm just pushing it out there, because if I start doing the videos, I mean, I've done some TikToks and I got a lot of hits on them, but it's you know, it's there, and some people don't want to see it because they're afraid to see it.
Yeah, that's like another layer to it too. Like some of these people that you're probably maybe still friends with on social media, or people that you knew from a long time ago or still know, whatever. It's like they're going to see something like that and they're going to immediately tie it to you exclusively, and not like they're missing that piece of the puzzle of our conversation right now. Even is like you were there for other people that were going through some shit, even though you're going through your own shit. It's like you're there for other people, and you've been close with the like pain and these people that like, so it's not just that. It's
my thing is like, and everyone knows I post stupid stuff on my Facebook.
Why not?
That's who I am, but like men's mental health is very, very, out there now. And I'm happy. Like UFC fighter Patty Holmes, he's lost a friend. He's like, us men need to start talking. Women go out, have coffee, have dinner, and talk. Men don't do that. We're scared to do that because sometimes we're not capable of doing it.
It's just hard. It's just hard to do it. Like,
you always got to call on a friend. I mean, I text certain people at certain times and be like, "Hey, you good? I love you."
Everybody's got their own shit. Everybody's dealing with their own shit.
Yeah, and but sometimes that one text might help somebody out. You never know.
Yeah,
and I mean, because if I would have had that too, maybe it would have been different. But I mean, it's still different because I'm still here. And it sucks. It sucks that I went to that route, and thank God it didn't go that route. But.
Yeah. You tried, it sounds like. You had a fucking miracle bullet that decided for you.
Yeah, that I mean, it was hard for me to more tell my parents, like.
So you have told them, everything.
Yeah.
How do you deal with it with your kids? Like how do you bring this stuff up to them? Like how
they know?
They're like, Dad, why are you posting this shit? What is this? Like, are they like?
I think.
Are you okay?
I think I told Aiden. I know I kind of told Bella like, hey, she knew I was sick, or whatever, and they see me go from down to up and then down, and honestly, that's my whole life, bro. I mean, the roller,
just riding it,
yeah, and like Bella does the count bears. If she's with me, she's like, What are you doing?
It's 3.
What are you doing?
Where you at right now?
Yeah.
It's only been an hour, Dad.
Last was it Christmas? We're at my mom's house, and we're eating and drinking and stuff like that. And Candy's husband's like, "Hey, let's do a shot." I'm like, "No, I'm good." He's like, "No, let's do a shot." I'm like, "No." And Bella's like, "He said no, damn it." And he's like, "Oh, sorry." I'm like, "Mom, relax."
Got your back.
She's like, "No." I'm like, "Relax." She's like, "What? This is the last beer." I was like, "All right." I'm like,
I'm an official stamp on it.
I'm like sipping on it. I'm like, how can I make it to the fridge to grab
Nursing
another
it.
one?
No, it's the same one. Same one.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, I mean, it just, I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, they know. They see where I'm at. And they know I'm happy. So, I mean, I usually talk to them.
So like now, well, I jumped over you. You were talking about telling your parents. Like, was that?
Oh yeah, I told them. My mom, she made it seem like it was all about her. Like not ignorantly about her, but she felt like she didn't do a good enough job.
They didn't recognize it enough early on, or something.
The way I got it, they think they didn't raise me correctly. And it's like it has nothing to do with that. I'm like, you guys are.
This isn't like me putting it on you.
Right.
I just want you to know.
I'm like, I used to, bro. I used to so bad about my whole gang stuff. I used to throw that at my dad like a whip. Like I used to hit him with that. Like, this is why. This is you. It's because of you. And I felt bad. Like I had to tell him like one night. I'm like, Dad, honestly, it had nothing to do with you. Like I'm sorry. He's like, I know it didn't. I'm like, bro, you're such
fucking knew it.
I'm like, are you fucking dick? But he's like, well, that's good for me to know. Like, I'm like, yeah. But when I told my mom, she tried to I don't know, try to analyze herself on seeing what she did wrong. And it's like, no, my big ass head.
It.
My big ass head has this brain that just wants to just push buttons. And yeah, so I'm like, it had nothing to do with you. It was just my brain just being
and like letting her know, like, don't make it that like this. It's not on you.
Oh yeah, man.
I just need you to know like that shit's happening in my head.
Yeah, and my mom's a Bible thumper. I love that she loves
Jesus,
her.
Huh? Okay.
She loves her Jesus. And man, I could go on another rant of craziness. I caused so much. I caused my mom so much pain. Okay, so going back to all these meds that I was taking, I had insomnia from one of them, and I'll sit there and like Google stuff on the computer all night long, just
like what, like this.
I felt
didn't matter.
It didn't. Religions, everything. Me and Katie started watching Vikings.
Oh yeah, remember that shit.
Oh, bro,
Ragnar.
Yeah, I fell in love with the Norse paganisms. Those gods and goddesses, bro. I insomnia loved me, and I loved insomnia at that time. I started reading up on Norse pagans and start just understanding the beliefs. I mean, people was like, "Oh, you think you're a Viking?"
Like paganism fucking spoke to you.
Oh, it did. It. Why do you think I hike? Like I like going out, taking hikes in the woods and stuff. It's calming. But just reading up on them and just a new something new to understand and to figure out and see why it was bad and why it wasn't bad. And I could argue with people about the Catholics and Christians. And, there's everyone has a good belief. What I tell my mom to this day is like, whatever you believe in, whatever you have faith in, whatever makes you get up every day and breathe, keep going for it.
Yeah.
Because
structure,
kind
of value structure.
Yeah, it's giving you value. It's giving you a meaning for life.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was like, she was so against me about the whole pagan stuff. I was like, look, you you think it's like devil worshiping. It's not.
It's completely different. Right?
It's all about nature. It's all feeling everything. And so I went deep. I went deep, bro. I mean, like I got my Valkyries, my daughters. I got the Veskar, even though it's Icelandic. It has nothing to do
hold
with
it up higher. This one right here. Yeah.
Even though it has nothing to do with the Vikings or pagans. It's an Icelandic fucking compass. But it just
fucking Valhalla.
Yeah. And the mess thing is, no one goes to Valhalla unless you're a Viking. All these, I mean, I know I say it, I'm gonna go to Valhalla because you never know. Whatever you believe in, hopefully, like I said, I followed so much stuff and the pagan stuff. It rang to me, but I go to church with my mom.
Oh shit! You're going to church nowadays?
Yeah.
Sundays and where you gotta go to church at?
It's I fellowship is right. It's right behind my mom's house, bro. We could walk across the
Where's that
the
at?
field.
Where?
Off of Bell Road in Shanahan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't even know what the church is called. I'm just trying to picture. I can show up. But it's a non-denomination Christian church, and I feel comfortable there. Like before I start looking up the Norse stuff, I didn't feel comfortable in churches anymore, and I think it was because of my mental health issues going on.
Yep.
Like it was like,
makes sense.
Like it just eating at me, like, don't be here. They're judging you.
You don't deserve to be here.
Right. But the messy thing is I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin at the churches there. But I don't know. I was drunk and I was talking to my buddy. My buddy got saved again, Christian, and me and him were talking one night, and we met up at Buffalo Wild Wings, ate some wings, drank some beers, and we ended up at Bedrock's.
Hell yeah.
We were just talking and shooting the shit, and we started talking about religions and stuff like that. And like me and him talk, he's like, whatever gets you going, like, go with it. He goes, he was telling me I was gonna fall back to God and stuff. And I'm like, if it does, it
maybe.
does. Yeah, maybe. Who
Not
knows?
gonna rule it out.
But so we had a good night of talking and stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, it's funny. He's like, yeah. He goes, it's kind of like the Vikings, huh? He goes, I'm like, yo, are you the dead monk? And I'm Ragnar. He's like, well, I don't want to be dead, but But we ended up talking again, and I'm like, dude, I seriously think about going back to church. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's just something's not feeling right. And he's like, how you been drinking? I'm like, oh, I've been drinking.
I've been going.
He's like, maybe you need to go to church. I'm like, yeah, but guess what? He's like, are you going on any hikes anymore? Are you going to Star Rock? Are you doing what you normally do? I'm like, no. He's like, so you're losing it again. I'm like, dude, I hate talking
to you. Might be onto something.
I'm like, I don't want to talk to you no more, dude. he's like, what? I'm like, nah, bro. I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking about going back to church. And he's like, do it. And happened to be where my parents moved. Church right behind there. I'm like, went to church, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And it felt good. And then I met up with him again for a football game at Buffalo Wild Wings. And it was me, Aiden, and him, whatever. And then Aiden left, and he's like, hey, man, I got to give you something. He gave me a pendant, a challenge coin of the Knights Templars, the Christian Knight Templars.
Okay.
And he's like, since you like the warrior things with your whole Viking, I'm like, bro, it's not Vikings that I'm looking up to. He's like, well, you know what I'm saying. He goes, check it out. Read this. And he gave me this paper. And I was like, man, dude. And I'm like, you're throwing it on thick right now. Like, I didn't say that to him.
Like something like that. Like something like
that.
that.
Yeah, that's the Red Cross, the Templars challenge coin.
Like this type of.
No, the one above it, right there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he gave me.
He was just like.
He's like
that was like symbolic for.
Well, he wasn't planning to give that to me. He he was planning to give it to someone else that he knows. And when I invited him to go to Buffalo Wild Wings, it was just a like, I just texted him. Like, for some reason, I'm like, hey, I'm going to see if Dan wants to come up this way. He's like, yeah, bro, I'll be there. And then, you know, after we watched a couple football games, and he's like, man, he goes, I was planning to give this to a buddy of mine, but I really feel that you need it. I was like, man, this is fucked up.
Like in a movie right now.
Yeah. That's how I felt because, bro, I mean, I have a Mignon in my car, which is Thor's hammer. But I also have a rosary in my car, too. So, but the rosary's from my grandmother. And so, you know, so I'm like, I got all this religion stuff all like.
For some reason, it's prevalent in your life.
Yeah.
And that you don't think of yourself as this majorly spiritual, like.
Yeah, I don't even feel like that, but some people would like question my hand, and you know, it's like, I'm like,
just always reading the book for the cover, right?
Yeah,
and just kind of like, what do you got going on over there?
I used to get it so much at Lalo's because of old white guys.
Like,
and
what is this guy doing here? Right?
Why has he got that
tan as shit?
He got Viking tattoos on his body. I'm like, look, yeah. So the whole religion thing too. That
whole nother layer to the onion.
Oh yeah, bro. I'm just everywhere.
Well, you're looking for things, right? I mean,
I'm just trying to keep my mind going.
Well, it probably never stops, right? And that's it. So, like, what do you see now, like for like current day Phil Juarez? Like, what do you see, like paths and goals and stuff? Are you kind of like day to day, or do you have like this would fix it, you know, like this would make me, or, you know, is it even something that you think about fix, you know, or are you just like, I'm just maintain day to day?
I'm just going day by day. I mean, like I said, I'm raw dogging the mental health issues. Everyone's like, man, it's so easy. Just relax. No,
it's not.
It's not. And they're like, you don't understand. Like, I'm like, I hate that old saying, walk a mile in my shoes.
Yeah.
And then tell me how you feel.
Right.
And like I talked to this friend of mine at work, and she was like, they say you're always mad, or you look mad all the time, or whatever. I'm like, it's tiring to smile. I'm like, I used to do it all the time. Like, smiling, I don't need to smile. I'm at work. I'm just gonna look grumpy or whatever.
Yeah, just let me.
And
look
she's
the
like,
way I look.
well, at least I know. You know, we talked for a while, and she's like, at least I understand why you're not mad. You're just going day by day or whatnot. And I'm like, I just.
But you don't get to explain that to everybody,
right?
So
yeah, because They don't need to. They don't need to know. I'm like, because unless they sit there and be like, hey, what's going on? You know. You ready for an earful?
Yeah.
Like,
do you want to know?
Do you want to know? Do you want to go drink outside real quick?
Because it's like, hey, how you doing? Do you want to know? Or you want me to be like, fine, and move the fuck on with my day? Or do you want to fucking hear the kind of shit that's rattling around in my head right now?
Yeah, but so now it's like, I try to smile at people now, because now I'm like, I'm not a douchebag. I'm like, but some people get the smile, and some people just get that look. Like, keep moving, leave me alone. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the day by day is what I do right now, and try to be a good grandfather, I guess.
What like motivates you day to day? How do you find things? I guess, and
how do I find things?
And is that what you do? Do you look like actively like, all right, I got to find things to keep the brain moving, keep the brain from settling in one place?
Well, I'm that 46-year-old that plays video games, so I mean,
hell yeah, nothing wrong with that, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine if we would have put all of our eggs in that basket early on. We could have been. We could be millionaires running around in Lamborghinis right now. Yeah. Not that would make me happy, but I mean, it looks pretty cool on the internet.
Yeah. I sit there and watch people play video games. I'm like, damn, I used to yell at Aiden watching people play video games.
Jim Bob watches Typical Gamer like fucking all day, dude. He knows what the hell's going on in Fortnite at all times. Like,
But
it's fun too. Like I get on there with them too because like Joseph was playing for a long time. Me, Joseph, and Jim Bob would get on, fucking talk all night, just three of us hanging out, playing, just killing people on Fortnite, trying to get them dubs. Yeah. Now Joseph's moved into Call of Duty, and I haven't gotten there yet. Every time I fucking land, I'm dead.
Dude, I don't want to talk about that with Call of Duty with Aiden. Aiden will have 100 kills. I died 50 times because I can't respawn because he's doing so much work. And I'm like, bro, why are they ranked level 20 like prestige and I'm only 50? I'm like, why you got me in these rooms with these guys?
You're just playing in too hard of lobbies.
Because I jump in with him, and that's his
fucking ilk.
Yeah. It's like, dude, how'd you get 100 kills and die 2 times?
I'm so bad at video games, but I still try to play. I keep the Xbox there just in case I got to throw down.
But yeah, I mean, besides video games, my cars, like that was our passion too.
Oh yeah,
me and your brothers was cars.
All of you guys got along on that car too.
It was all the cars. I mean, like we said, we were Fast and Furious before Fast and Furious.
Oh yeah.
And people laugh at me. They're like, "Yeah, right." I'm like, "No, for real. I think we were part of that before it happened."
I miss all my Asian friends. I don't see anybody anymore. Yeah. Toys and Joys and all of them.
Toy, you gotta get Toy on here.
Oh my god, I haven't talked to him forever.
And have him cook.
Yeah, dude. Remember he was cooking my mom and dad's house when they'd be out on vacation.
That's what I do.
Oh boy, 2 in the morning he'd be out there doing stir fry for us. Meanwhile, Matt Grohar sticking his hand in boiling grease.
I remember that.
The best. Walking into my parents' bathroom and he's got his foot and his hand in the toilet, smoking a cigarette. He's got grease burns on his hand, trying to cool it down. Slept in our bathtub.
I remember that shit. That shit.
Those were the days.
Reed Street.
Those were the days.
You remember somebody had tiki torches?
Oh my god, tiki torch gang.
You remember that?
I don't know. Do I? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sure I do.
They start exploding everywhere. People start hitting each other with them.
No, I don't remember that. Was that at our house?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I feel like that wasn't it. That might have been
Jordan was
I might
there.
have been on vacation.
Steve Jordan was there.
I might have been with my parents on that one.
You were cutting Steve Jordan's hair.
No.
Yes.
I don't remember cutting Steve Jordan's hair.
You guys shaved his head.
Is that when I had braids? When Deja gave me cornrows?
Yeah.
Scotty and Deja.
I think
remember that back in the day? Remember when they lived on Brandon Road? Remember they had that little Dembski? It was like Kevin and Melissa.
I never went
Jim
there.
Bob, yeah. So you never went there.
No,
okay.
no.
That was a short-lived experiment. But
it seemed crazy.
That was too wild.
That was worse than Jackass, I think.
It was too wild over there.
Worse than Viva La Bam stuff. What I was told. Them jumping a van over the railroad tracks.
Oh God, no! Don't even get back to that. Jim used to be a wild boy. Now he's just Jim Bob.
Jim Bob.
So what's now? I mean, what's next? Anything like you got stuff? What's going on?
I'm just
chilling, just making it day to day, being grandpa.
Working. Yeah, another new grandpa to another little baby girl.
So you got 2 now?
3. I got 3 grandbabies. 2 little girls. Well, one's 10 months old, or not 10 months old, a month old. Then my other granddaughter, my youngest granddaughter, just got her appendix taken out
today.
Today,
right now.
yeah, today at 9:00.
As you were sitting down here talking, FaceTiming with your daughter, and she's like, "Well, let me tell you about that."
Yeah, and I got my grandson that he's in every sport there can be. His stepdaddy, which is not his stepdaddy, but he's going to be, got some in all these sports. And
how old's he?
12.
12.
Yeah, he's 12.
Got him playing video games yet?
Well, he plays video games. He's a punk.
He's a little
I downloaded Fortnite and I played with like 2 times with him, and his guys kicked me out of the lobby, kicked me out of the game, out of the team.
You gotta hit Jim up, dude. We'll get on Fortnite together, the 3 of us. Therapy sessions.
But you see these little kids. I said things and I don't know why they kicked me out, but they said I sucked. So I told them I was banging their mom.
Yeah, well, obviously that's the only response.
That's the only reason I could go with. And then all of a sudden it was like, doop. I was like,
"You've been booted from this."
I was like, "What?" I text my grandson. He don't even answer my text message.
He's like, "You're embarrassing me."
I'm like, I was about to pull the mom card on him and call my daughter and be like, tell your son.
Let me back into the lobby.
But I didn't. I went to bed.
Trying to get some kills here.
But yeah, I'm just Doing the same thing, man. I mean, working on the car, getting frustrated with the car.
Keeping you busy.
Yeah, just keeping myself busy. Try to at least.
Yeah.
Paying off these bills.
Oh, that's.
I kind of put myself in a little debt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the American meal still ain't cheap, bro.
No,
it's not cheap.
No.
2 tickets.
Traveling and
2 tickets. 2 for the game is about $300.
Oh shit. Yeah.
For 2 tickets.
Yeah.
And then you gotta get a hotel room.
Yep. Travel.
And then travel. Stay. Food. Eat. Like I told Aiden, the next time we go, we're gonna camp. I'm gonna take hot dogs.
Yeah. And pack of hot dogs, a little grill there on the whatever park grill they got there.
A big bag full of toilet paper.
Dumping in holes, buddy. Gonna rewind the clock.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to work and pay the bills off.
Yeah, same old. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming out and doing the podcast. I mean, I was really wanting to talk to you. We've known each other, like I said, like 30 fucking years. So, probably need to start getting in contact more often, huh?
Yeah, I guess. Sorry, it went really deep. It wasn't supposed to be a deep one.
It was. It was great, man. And, honestly,
I mean,
loved it.
Everyone, I'm okay.
Yeah, don't get alarmed.
Don't. Yeah, I'm a knucklehead. I say what is on my mind, and don't. I mean, it's not. I'm not that bad.
I'll ask you one more philosophical question about the mental health situation for you personally. So you have, all these old friends like me and my brother and all, all these people, we've known each other for forever and ever. And when you're going through stuff like this, are you in a mindset with that where it makes you say like, oh, like I wish these people would reach out to me, or like, like what helps you? Like,
I thought about that, but to be honest, it's my fault. I stepped away from you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like when I got married and stuff, I kind of went on my own, like with the whole marriage. I mean,
which is kind of like what normal guys end up doing.
Yeah.
They end up.
So I mean,
you take that quick hiatus. There's text message strings and shit where you're.
Oh yeah, I mean,
talking old shit.
There's some people I talk to, which. I honestly didn't want to pull you guys into another issue.
No, yeah, and mentally you're thinking like, oh, I'm gonna ruin their time.
I'm not like ruin your time, but more of a just. You guys are doing good.
You're trying to fucking take the burden on your own.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm a man.
That's old. That's an old school mentality. That's the generation.
Right. Yeah.
That's a generational thing.
Honestly, I never really thought about it. Like, me and Wilson talked, and talking to Wilson is like talking to a mentally retarded person. Sorry for the special needs people.
That's a special word.
Sorry.
But no apologies necessary.
I love the guy, and he probably
don't talk about Wilson like that. God damn it,
man!
I love me some Matt Wilson.
Yeah. But I mean, I honestly, I know, man. I mean. Like I said, you guys are still my brothers. I mean, I don't. Yeah, it sucks. Thinking about it, I'm like, man, I did just like basically say I didn't want to burn any of you guys.
See, I never thought of that. I was just thinking like, oh, we're all doing our own thing, just like natural drift.
Yeah. So did I, but like, well, things happen, and it's life, and everyone has their issues, and I kind of just took my own and.
Fucking fought your way through it.
I fought it. It's like I said, I raw dog it now, and it's like
I love the term raw dog. It's just accepted now. People love to use it.
You know what the messed up thing is? I watched Unsubscribed, and they kept saying raw dog, and that's why I think it's stuck in my head because it's the truth.
And like I'm, I work in the normal like corporate America. I literally work right there every day at this desk. That's like I work from home, and like me and the other like guy my age that I've been friends with for years and years. We worked, we employed by the same company. We just crack up all the time. There's like business people and all like raw dogging a meeting by not saying anything while you're on that meeting. Like that's just a normal term now.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, I don't think we should be saying this.
Like I said, I told my therapist the same thing. I'm like, she's like, you should go on meds. I'm like, no, I'm gonna raw dog it. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah. I'm like,
that's what I said.
I'm gonna raw dog it. She's like, why? I'm like, cause it's life, man. I mean, if I can't wake up in the morning and just keep going, then okay. If I'm laying in bed for 3 or 4 days in my own feces or something, okay, then I'm gonna be.
Right.
I'm gonna be.
I should probably figure out the meds that help that. but
yeah.
But if you can kind of manage it, you know,
I'm managing it.
If you can get away with not taking it, it's like, yeah,
I think I'm doing good. Some people say I'm not. But
some people would argue that you're not.
They probably people would be commenting like, yeah, he needs to see somebody.
But you are. So
yeah,
you are taking the steps though. Like, not all joking aside, you're clearly taking the steps to
I do see my therapist once a week.
It doesn't sound like it'd be a win for you to not be here, like in your own mind.
Oh yeah, I'm doing good. And mentally, I'm doing good. But there's those days. But I still want to say my therapist. She probably didn't watch this. I think she does drink a box of wine after we talk sometimes.
Franzia.
So yeah,
because she's attaching it to herself, right? She's taking on some of that, bringing it home. She's like, "Fuck, I gotta drink for this guy."
She's like, "Why is Phil saying these things?"
Nah, she's probably fucking built for it, right?
I don't know. Sometimes I don't know.
It's professional.
Sometimes I think she don't even want me there. Sometimes because she'd be like, "Oh, here we go."
That's you. That's your head. That's your head telling you that.
The looks. Believe me, like I said, I've been with this woman for a while.
Yeah, you get to know a person.
Oh,
right?
I see the foot swinging, and also I'm like, yeah. She's like, "Yep, come on, just hurry up and just."
You're hyper aware of everything that's happening. Yeah, you get all the signs. That's years of fucking doing.
I don't think she even catches me knowing. Like I stare at the doorknob the whole time I'm talking. Like me talking to you, like I've been staring at the light most of the time.
Don't do that. You fuck your eyes up.
But you know what I'm saying, like that way. Yeah. But like when I sit in her office, I stare at the doorknob,
just like slightly off from her.
Just slightly off, and I watch what she does.
Periffs. Use the periffs.
Yeah.
Well, dude, again, I appreciate you coming out and doing, fucking 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours talking like this. I think you're a great story now, to talk about this kind of stuff and actually like be open and embrace speaking about it out loud. I mean, these podcasts for me are like therapy in their own right. So to do it with somebody I've known for 30 years and who I love dearly, and I just really appreciate like what you did for me as a kid, just bringing it up and taught me so much stuff in life. And I mean, I don't know. I think it turned out okay. Like I'm finding a way to manage. I love it. Manage through, but like
I told you when I said earlier, I'm like, man, it's weird seeing you as a dad.
Yeah, I mean, kids running around the house doing all kinds of crazy shit. But it's like this typical like run of the mill like lower middle class Midwestern upbringing of white folks. Like
you're white.
Yeah, I got some cool. I got some good experience from just like being around different kind of people and understanding. You were a very early lesson for me to like don't. It's not about what people look like or what your brain is programmed to perceive and all that. So it was a good starting block for me to not have to figure that out when I got to be like 15, 18, 19. Like. It helped me out a lot, and you mean a lot to me. So I appreciate you coming out. I'm if there's anything I can ever do for you, let me know. But I know you won't. Ask.
We could do another podcast and we'll just talk more smack about our friends.
Yeah, we'll have to do it. I think we should do a weekly podcast where we bring one of them on every week. Bring Beer Neck on, bring Wilson on. I'd love to do a podcast with Wilson. He'd be a good time.
Yeah, you gotta do it. Let me come. I'll sit in the back and throw popcorn
in the corner.
Yeah, sit in the corner.
Yes, I have Chad from Nickelback here. When he had the blonde, long locks. Ugh.
Wilson and his journey.
Oh, he's the best. Well, dude, thank you. I appreciate it. I'll put this out on Monday, and hopefully everybody get to listen to it. Some of the stories you told were outstanding. So, well,
at least you're not in college no more, and just not going to get enough.
Yeah. All right, dude. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
All right, peace.
Yeah.